Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. This is the big question. You know how we do. Today, we're going to have some questions and some panelists who are from your guys' end, which is the audience coming up on here to have their say on different topics. Today, we're unfortunately going to have to be having a conversation about the post interview with Alicia. So what I've done is I've just made sure that we're going to have some real good conversation around the other topics, which is number one, we're going to talk about, is it right to ghost? And is there any particular right reason for why somebody decides to ghost? We're talking number two, we're going to talk about obviously dealing with accusations in relationships. This is something that I threw in a little bit late. I thought we should add it in. I've got some videos around that. I want you guys to kind of have your say on that. And number three, we want to ask this question, would you date a single parent? And number four is clout killing our people in this generation. So guys, as always, I've put the email there below. I want you guys to email me if you want to come on and have your say. What's going to happen is I'm going to have maybe 6 people on the actual panel. And what I'm going to do is anybody else who wants to voice an opinion, I'm going to bring you in for a second, voice your opinion, and then I'm going to X you from the conversation. Because I think it becomes too much when you've got like 20 people waiting in a conversation, trying to bring them on, all trying to have their say, all trying to make sure that audio is correct. So what we're going to do is we'll have our 6 people for the panelists. Okay, those who get to me first, I'll bring you in. And then obviously for the rest of you want to add their voice or add their opinion in, you email, we'll bring you in for a few minutes, come and have your say, we'll X you out the conversation and we'll move forward that way. So again, guys, this is the big conversation where we discuss all things relationships. So like I said, today's conversation, we are talking about ghosting. And when I finally get one of my first panelists on the show, I will kick off it by showing you guys a video. In fact, I can actually show you the video right now. Okay. Nick says she made the live. Again, guys, if you want to come on and have a conversation, I've got a surprise guest, maybe potentially, you never know, to come on and be part of the panelist. You just never know with me. But yeah, guys, we're gonna have a real deep conversation. But before we go there, I wanted to bring you guys a video, okay? Because we're talking about ghosting. So let me give you guys a video. It's about 4 minutes long, sorry. But I want to share it with you guys so we can get an idea of the conversation we are trying to have today. So let's talk about ghosting.
Okay. Am I pressing send now? My name is Jada. I'm 23 years old. It was June 2016. I met him through my cousin's boyfriend. He asked me out. It was really nice. He took me to Sweet Chick in Williamsburg, and then we went to the park nearby, like a little park, and he played the guitar. He serenaded me, because he's a musician. But then the second date kind of made me realize that I wasn't really super interested in him, partially because I just wasn't really ready to commit. I just came out of a relationship, and I was really, really busy. It was about 2 weeks of communication before it stopped. I was kind of rude about it, though. I could have been more nicer about it because he was nice to me, so. I saw him 2 years later on the train, and he didn't see me, though. So I texted him. I was like, hey, I just saw you on the train. And he was just like, why didn't you say hi? And then I was just like, oh, I don't know. And then he was just like, well, how have you been? And I didn't respond, which is awful, but yeah. But then I got ghosted and made me reflect and just feel bad for ghosting him because it was a situation where I liked someone and I don't feel like I was being pushy, but the person probably felt like I was, so they stopped talking to me. And it's hard. It made me appreciate the person that I once ghosted who was trying to basically do what I'm trying to do now. I would say I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I don't want the apology to turn into like, hey, so do you want to try this again? Because I don't. If anything, like if he responds back and is like hopeful, I can lie and say I have a boyfriend. No? I mean, I could text him now, but I could text him. So I'm not one to apologize via text, but if I was to text the person that I ghosted, I would probably say, hey,
It's enough. We don't need to anymore. Listen, my girl was doing the most anyway. So, guys, I just wanted to show you that because I wanted to give us some context of the conversation because today we're talking about ghosting. Okay. And so I wanted to kind of show you guys that video because I think it highlights in its entirety what this subject's about. You know, um there are definitely some, I guess, nuances to the conversation. I think many of us would say that ghosting is probably wrong, but there are other situations that can happen that can lead to someone ghosting you. So I'm going to bring on my first guest. She's a regular now, you know. She's got a lovely smile, lovely face, beautiful skin, all looking glowy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Talk sense. You know what I'm saying? Talk sense with the Holy Spirit in that. So I'm gonna bring Jess on. If you guys want to contribute to the conversation, listen, bring yourself. You see the link is there. Just email me and I'll send a link to you guys as well. All right. I'm gonna bring on Jess and we'll get the conversation flowing. Yes, Jess. How you doing? You're right. I'm good. You know how we do. You know how we do. Hi, how you doing anyway? You okay? It's how it goes. How it goes. So, what did you think of that particular video? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, girl, I think you're a little bit low for them. You might have to turn up a little bit. No, you're still low. You're still low, sis. Yeah, still very low, sis. Are you on AirPods or you on no? Yeah, wait, you may be it may be just let me hold make sure. Let's see, make sure for you. Yeah, you're still a bit low, sis. Yeah. Okay, no worries, no worries. Come back and come back out. Uh, so guys, she's gonna come back and come back out. But I've got a special guest with me today as well to jump on, have a conversation about this topic as well. But yes, so we're talking about obviously ghosting. And so what we're going to have a conversation about is making sure that obviously, guys, look, when it comes to the subject, I want to give a definition so we can actually break it down, have a conversation, and go a bit further and go a bit deeper. Yeah, her sound is down. We're going to get that sorted. But the question we're talking about here is ghosting, right? Which is a sudden ceasing of all contact. Okay, a sudden ceasing of all contact. Can we hear you now? Go for it.
Can you hear me better?
Oh, Jesus, lovely.
Sorry.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. You're here. You're here. Listen,
Okay.
go again. Tell us what you thought about that particular video.
Okay. I thought it was excessive to send a long text. I tried to read as much of it as I could, but I would have called. I mean, was she not able to call? I just don't really know why she chose to send a long text.
Sometimes you don't get that call, in it. You know what I mean? You're scared to call.
Leave a voicemail. See, I'm never that way because this sounds odd. I've never ghosted, and the reason I haven't is because the technical term, I guess, without warning. If I stop all contact with a guy, let's just be specific, it is because I have warned. And when I mean warned, not like in a threatening way, but it's really, let's say, for instance, I don't like the way a guy speaks. He uses language that I don't prefer. And maybe I've said it like nicely 2 or 3 or 4 times. I actually have had this situation. And in one instance, I told him, I said, I'm not trying to change who you are, but I think it's disrespectful when a man just in general conversation uses profanity talking to a woman that he's interested in. I said, that bothers me. He kept on. And so coupled with some other things, I did cut off all communication, but I technically warned him. Because you don't think I did.
You gave a little heads up.
Exactly. So that wasn't ghosting because it says with no warning. You don't think that's fair?
No, I think that's fair. I'm just into your comment, obviously, because when it comes to ghosting, you're completely cutting all communication. But obviously with ghosting, there is a lack of communication. So the whole point of ghosting is that you go Casper, which basically means that, 1 minute we're talking and gisting and jiving, and the next minute I know you're gone. So there is no conversation. There is no well, there can be a warning, but obviously, and that's fine, because if you've warned the person, say, listen, if you continue to behave, I've got to cut you off. I wouldn't necessarily call that ghosting because you've communicated that to the person.
Okay.
Ghosting is when I
haven't ghosted then.
No, you haven't ghosted. Ghosted. You haven't ghosted. In fact, I'm gonna bring another guest on as well. As you dare, you're gonna bring another guest on. Okay. My little surprise guest for me. You know what I'm saying? Ashinator.
Oh my goodness! I know this face.
How you doing, Ash?
How you doing, babe?
I'm good, babe. I'm good, babe. I don't know if you heard the conversation in the back, but we're talking about ghosting. There was a video that we just watched a little bit of a second too. But I wanted to be able to ask your opinion. Number one, have you ever ghosted?
See, that's the thing. I don't think I've ever ghosted. I think conversation just kind of fell off where it was just kind of like, I'm good. But I don't think I've ever ghosted. And I don't recall anybody ever ghosting me.
So you've never just suddenly cut off all contact without actually letting the person know?
No. No. I think I'm just so verbal, like that I'll let you know, like I don't really care about what you're doing, like I don't really care for that. And also I'll just, we can stop communicating and then, if you don't say anything or you like, hey, I'll be like, hey, but I'm not gonna keep the conversation going.
Okay. Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
To ghost.
Okay. Okay. No, I hear that. I hear that. Okay, so let me ask a question to the panelists so far. In terms of ghosting, do you feel that men do this more than women?
Yes.
Oh wow. Yo, why are you just gonna gang up on me like that?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times I think men be after sex.
Okay.
Things, and so they'll talk to a girl and kind of woo her enough until the woman's like, okay, fine, I'm gonna give him some, and then they'll get. I mean, it hasn't happened to me, but I'm saying like I've heard stories, and then after a while they're just like, dang, well he won't call me back or he won't answer my text, but so yeah, I definitely think men do it more than women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just what's your
They
thoughts?
do. Men definitely do, and for me, I can just say, in the recent years, it's definitely not for the description, that she gave. It's more so I'm talking to you and you're not getting anything and you're probably tired. So bye. Because I have been ghosted. I think, yeah.
Talk to us. How was that experience?
You know what? And it sounds odd, but it really wasn't that bad because I had somebody who we were kind of talking, let's just say for a few weeks. I started discovering some things that I wasn't a fan of. And I think that in my conversation with the person, you can tell when someone is kind of like, they're a little more reserved. So, but I didn't cut off communication. I just was like, maybe this isn't what I thought. And he completely cut off. So maybe it was like a proactive approach for him, but he cut off all communication. And I didn't try to reach back out. And I do think though some guys aren't used to that part though. It's they're used to some women continuing to call or continuing to text, and I don't do that. I have done it in the past where it's like, hey, I'm just wanting to make sure you're okay, which is a genuine thing because that's my personality. But I realize you have to cut that off sometimes. You might care inside, but you can't. Sorry, your birthday came. I can't.
Right.
Because I have to draw the line. I can't do it. So I'm praying for you though, but I'm praying.
Okay. I guess obviously I should give, a male perspective on the ghosting situation. So I've ghosted and been ghosted. Reason for ghosting was simply because, if I'm honest, this is before Jesus Day, so guys, don't judge me. I was, as Ashley said, I was on a dark road. I just wanted to get sex, and that was it. Hit it and leave quick. You know what I mean? And all the extra stuff was going to make it very difficult for me to enter and exit cleanly. Because when you get too deep with emotions, that when you leave, it's not a clean leave. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for a lot of us guys, sometimes we enter situations with girls, trying to get something, and then when we're trying to leave, we just cut all communications. Right? We don't want to talk. We don't want to communicate. Because the conversation is long. How do I explain to you that I just used you? How do I explain that? How do I explain that I know that you want a relationship, but actually, really, I came in there lying to your face, and I really just wanted sex? Like, how do I explain the fact that I've done wrong here? How do I explain that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Someone said, "Have you ever ghosted after sex?" Ladies, have you?
Okay. So we're going there. Okay. So when that was something that I was doing out there just in these streets, because we all have a past, right? So I want to preface much younger, mid-20s, slightly late 20s. I have, but the reasons were less about them and more about me. I would feel like bad, right? Especially if it was someone that I knew I didn't see as like a husband, even though I was active in that behavior, I was like, nope, this isn't good. And I would be more concerned about my own convictions and not even be thinking about, well, I guess that is not thinking about them in that way. So I would just, I have, but that was some years ago. That was some years ago.
Right. I can say years ago too, but it's only like 5. But anyway, go on, Ash.
Me, I don't think, like I've ghosted someone like directly after sex, but it could like maybe sometime after it where I'm just like, you know what, we're not on the same page. Period. We're not on the same page. They don't want the same things I want. And I may have ignored that before the encounter. But then after the encounter, it's just like you clear. You just like, okay, yeah, no, this ain't gonna work. I'm good. And
Yeah.
kind of just wean the conversation, you just don't communicate as much, and then they kind of get the picture. So,
Yeah.
I have ghosted after sex, and I'll tell you why. This was nothing to do with the girls, also with me. This actually, when I gave my life to Christ, probably like a year or 2 in, I was still being a bit of a Christian bad boy. And I ended up at a girl's house. We had some sex. I tell you what, I lasted probably like 2 minutes. It was the most embarrassing time ever. Yep. And I did it twice, not even once. I did it twice, and ended up in 2 minutes. And I said to myself, don't ever call this girl again. Don't message her. Don't text her. If she hits me up on the internet, I'm dead. So I'm saying it for you guys. No one can hit me up and say anything in the future. Okay, right? The game is strong now, but then that time there, it was so bad. I had to ghost her. I'm sorry. I couldn't. There was nothing. I couldn't say anything after that. What do I say? Sorry. What were you gonna say? Like, my bad. Performance was a bit off.
No, it's my bad. Like, if you really liked her, I would have been like,
I didn't.
So
I like the sex.
that I couldn't.
No. There's no excuse.
Okay.
I just wanted sex. That's the problem. You see. So now I had to ghost her.
Yeah, you definitely did.
You know what I mean? And if she ever writes a book about me, guys, you know why. So
is she an author?
I don't know. I don't want to find out. Someone asked this question: why not be straightforward? So why not be straightforward in these type of interactions where maybe potentially there is that ghosting particular behavior?
I think you will once you mature. And I think that oftentimes we like to just say girls are more mature than guys, but we all have that phase where we are very immature, and that could be later for some people. And sometimes it's also embarrassment. Like for me, I didn't feel that I had the right to tell this person about my feelings of what I did, because it's almost like when you're new into changing your life, I was like, how hypocritical of me to give this actual true reason to them while I participated in this. And so I'm battling through my own emotions and my own vulnerabilities about what I want to do with my life. And I don't want this person to feel hurt or feel used. And if I'm being honest, the situation that it happened, because it's only happened like once, the ghosting after that, is because the person who I genuinely wanted had hurt me. And so I was just space filler. And that's really selfish, but being vulnerable to say that's the place I was in. And so I didn't have the courage to tell them at that age. Now, of course, I wouldn't be in that particular situation, but I would communicate before then much clearer about what I need, what I want. And I just didn't. And so it's like a L, you take a L. And the person was hurt, and I understood that, but I know how that feels now too, though. So
yeah.
Any additives to that, Ash?
No, I don't, because like I said, I've never done it. I mean, I've kind of, like I said, weaned away, but I didn't just straight ghost. And I told the person, like, look, this is not going to work because of X, Y, and Z. And it just kind of feels like, okay, but so when are we gonna go out? No, you're not getting it.
Okay, so what gave you the strength to do that?
And that maturity, that once you get to a certain part, you're just like, you know what, I just want to be honest and upfront, even before that situation happens. Like, if this is what you want from me, you be clear, because I might want it, I might not, but I might want it too, so let's just be grown about the situation, because it does not feel good, I can imagine, to be treated like that.
Well, like that. I'm gonna bring on one more guest. I got another guest to add on. Ken. Good seeing you today, Ken.
I know. Decided to finally be brave and actually use my webcam. So
no worries. Hairs on fleek. We love it, sis. We love it. Sis, talk to us. We're talking about ghosting. Talk to us. What's your thoughts on ghosting? Have you ever been ghosted before? Have you ghosted someone before?
Have I ever been ghosted? No.
Okay.
Not to my recollection. Have I ever ghosted before? Yes.
Okay.
Unwillingly. Kind of like Jess, in the sense of I give a warning, I usually tell people, don't do, or can you not? And men just think no from a woman is an invitation for whatever reason. For whatever reason, the whole pursuit or whatever. Sometimes a no just means cut it out. So in those instances, like I don't want to deal with it. I block the person, I just disappear. But I'm trying to think of an instance where I just ghosted someone without saying anything. No, generally I usually tell people what my boundaries are before I bounce. So.
Okay, I like that. Okay, cool. There's a question that came up here. I want to just grab it. Okay. It says, have you ever felt like you was about to be ghosted? So unless you've been ghosted before, this might not apply to you. But maybe let's say, have you ever felt like somebody's about to, have you ever, maybe I should change it then. So rather than ghosted, if you haven't experienced ghosting, have you ever felt like someone is starting to pull away from you? And what was your response to that behavior?
I call it out. Like I said, I think I overly communicate. I think I talk maybe too much. Because if I kind of feel the energy, like, if I'm not feeling that same energy, I'll be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? What you thinking? Like, where's the miscommunication? Let's talk about it. And then if, like I said, since I've never been ghosted, but I have, felt someone kind of pull away and they'll say, oh, it's X, Y, and Z. And then it's like, well, why are you tripping? Because this is why, and then it is either they go or they don't.
Ken?
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't really say that I've been in an experience where I felt someone pulling away. Generally, I have a I don't know how familiar you are with the attachment.
Yeah,
the psychology behind that. So different people have different attachment styles. Some people are clingy, some people are avoidant. Blah 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 blah. I'm avoidant, so I tend to be someone who's doing the pulling away than being pulled away from. Yeah,
I'm with you on that. How about yourself, Jess?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've felt it, and I think I reacted two different ways. Of course, if I really, really like them, and this is probably so counterintuitive, if I really like them and I feel that, I start to pull away. That's not the thing you should do. And I don't know why, but it's the weirdest thing, because you would think you want to ask questions or you want to dig deeper, and that's really who I am. But if I really like them, and when you get so vulnerable that it hurts or it's painful, the idea of thinking, okay, well, I don't know what's going on, you start self-sabotaging. So you feel that, and it could be just reservations or fear in them, but you exasperate the situation by you backing up now, right? So you back up, then theirs intensifies, and it becomes a game, and it's like, oh, why did I do this? And then and then the frustration. If you get so far in, you're frustrated and arguing about something that really maybe you guys both wanted, or I've seen it play out in so many ways. But I think going forward, I think one of the ways that I can kind of, you can kind of change it too by slowing down. Because oftentimes people back, me and them, you back away when you're not sure and you're nervous and things have moved too fast. That's generally how I see it. It could happen other ways, but I mean, what do you guys think? I always feel it happens when you just move too fast. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, I've felt it. Listen, if you're gonna shoot your shot, some shots are gonna go wide. Do you understand? You have to understand that. So if you're shooting your shot and trying to score goals, you're gonna miss some shots. So have I experienced it? Yes. I remember one example. I actually went on a date with a particular girl. I thought she was really cool, really nice. When I got there, though, because we first met, me, I'm one of the generation that started dating with the whole. I use Twitter, Instagram. I use it all as a dating app. I don't know about you guys, but I use it all. Listen, social media is a great way to meet people. I don't know why people waste time. Listen, you gotta use it. Okay,
That's true.
it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And Twitter is the best way, because people be talking their whole mind. If their mind is not correct, you'll know. So obviously,
I don't have Twitter. Maybe that's the problem.
You need to get on Twitter. I'm telling you, know people's mind for real. And so we met. This is years ago. This is before even Christ. So we met years ago, and we went on a date, and we went to the cinema. I remember I went down. I got to the cinema, got there now. Bought the tickets, got the popcorn, got into the cinema, and I think I made a joke or whatever, and it just didn't drop. And I was like, this joke should have been caught by everybody here. I don't understand why it's not catching. It was a very simple joke. Like it should have elicited some laughs, right? At that moment, half an hour into the film, I already knew this is not going to go the way I thought it's going to go, right?
That's good. That's actually good.
After the film has ended, we're walking out, and I already know what's going to be. I know what's coming out of her mouth already. I can feel it. You're right. You can sense the energy shifted. Okay. So when we got outside, we shouldn't even wait till we didn't even. You shouldn't even wait long. We got outside. Okay. These are the days when you're in uni. We got outside. We're walking to the little foyer part, right? And she's just like, you know what? I just don't think this is gonna work. But I had already sensed it. I was like, okay, fair enough. It's not going to work. But I respected the fact that she didn't try to like ghost me, because I probably would have ghosted, but she didn't ghost me. She just told me straight up, listen, I'm not feeling it. But I could sense it throughout the whole of the film. So sometimes I'm confused sometimes of how sometimes we miss those signs, because sometimes you feel that energy. And when people miss those signs and they keep on going on and on and on with it, like certain guys are very persistent. I'm looking at them like, bro, like you can tell this girl is not on it. Let it go. But I want to ask the question, ladies. Some guys don't give up, and they're very persistent. And some of these girls actually do, can cave in and start to liking the boy. I mean, should guys be persistent? Is there a stopping point men should give up? Like, talk to me, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Educate me. I know the truth already, but I want you to educate me still. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you want to go?
No, you guys can stop. I want to wait.
And
All right, I'll go.
Go on, Ken.
I'll go. Persistence. I feel like persistence was attractive as a character trait when I was younger, naive, and completely uninitiated. As an adult, I like people who respect consent, people who take nonverbal cues and all that good stuff. Like people who override your boundaries, all of that stuff. Like I said, it's when you don't really know yourself. You think that's cute. You think, someone love bombing you is attractive, as opposed to them grooming you for abuse and stuff like that. Don't mean to get too heavy, but the more mature, the older I get, what society usually defines as persistence, that's not cute. I prefer communication, like I said, consent, mutual understanding. You could try a little, but just know when to back off. A no, like I said, a no. When you're going after a mature woman, when she says no, it's not for you to start jumping down over time. When you're going after like younger, more, like I said, naive people, maybe that's attractive. But speaking in general, like where I am in life right now, this so-called persistence, you're smarter. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Ash.
I agree 100% with her, because that's exactly how I feel. After a certain amount of time, if a woman wants you to just keep trying and not, if she's not receptive, if she's not like giving you any clues that, I like it, keep going, then no. If she says no, or she's like, no, I'm good, then respect that. I agree 100%.
Are you ladies not playing hard to get?
No. The thing is, you can play hard to get, but the thing, I'm still going to give you some cues and be able to tell if I like you hard to get, or if I'm like, she's a creep. Where is this Uber? Like, you know what I'm saying? You need to be able to understand and differentiate between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
Going and try, but or walk away.
I hear that. Yeah, no, and I definitely hear that. And it's actually interesting because oh, sorry. No, I was saying it's actually interesting because obviously when you're talking about this persistence, we can hear this persistence that they're talking about. Sometimes, as you're saying, as you get older, you start to realize this is not the behavior. I think when you're younger, people are very naive. Ladies, them too, are very silly at their age as well. We're all filled with these ideas of girls are playing hard to get. As you get older, you realize this is not hard to get, bro. She's just not trying to get it. So yeah, you need to shift and move. Question. I've got a question for you, ladies. Though I've got a question here. Okay, let's talk some real stuff today. I hope it makes sense, my English, but have you ever been kind as a woman and the guy took it as you liking him?
All the time.
And how did you deal with it? Actually, we're talking, so go for it.
Well, all the time. And I say this a lot. I am a natural flirt. And so I'm always really friendly, really nice to everybody that I meet. And they really will take that as I like them. So the thing is, like I said, I overly communicate. So even though I'm extra nice and extra friendly, oh, let me get your number. No, I'm cool. I have a man. Like I'll know how to kind of do that. Or if my man is not there, I'm at a club with my girl, even though I don't swing the other way. No problems with anyone who does. But I'm like, oh, no, this is my girl. We go together. I don't like men. Like I like women. Like, you know what I'm saying?
To get away.
So yeah, like the thing is, I can be kind and people like me and interpret it in a different way, but no, I'll let them know. I'm not gonna get a number and just have a sympathy. Let me give you my number. No, it's not gonna happen.
Hit that, Kenny. Yeah. I see you looking at me.
Yeah,
I think the same thing goes for me as far as can you guys still hear me good? I just want to check.
We can hear you great.
You're good.
You're good.
Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that they have, but it's not the age group that I want. Okay, this is the story of my life. I don't know what it is about 50 and up. I don't want you. Like and I'm telling you, this has been an issue for I don't know how long because I used to date up and it was great, right? I even had a distance of 20 something years, right? But at this stage of my life, I don't want that. I don't want that life anymore. Right. And whenever I'm being nice, I feel like to my peers, it's genuine, right? It really is genuine because I'm like a cool person, raised right. I know how to. I'm real respectful of. I'll ask somebody things that other people might assume because I just want to keep things above board. But my age group is generally like, yeah, well, okay, cool. I've never had somebody based on me being nice to them, they wanted to just holler at me. But these old heads, I mean, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, is there something about me that says like AARP or, what is it that, I don't know. And I think it's the generation. I asked one of my good friends, I said, well, what's up with the younger guys? Are they a different generation where they don't like the caliber of men that I like, the age group? I think they want women to do all the stuff. And I'm old school. Like, I'm not going to holler at you. I don't care how advanced all the other women are. I'm not going to do it. Now, I'll be friendly. And of course, I can leave doors open for that space. But I'm not going to, outside of, like you guys said, talking to people on social media and all that, we all do that as friends and buddies. But to take a step to do it, I'm not going to do it. And I don't know if it's California guys. Maybe they say that. They say California guys, they don't act right. So I don't know if I'm experiencing that, but the old heads you can't be nice to the 50 and up because they run with it.
Go for it, Ken. You're gonna say something. Go, Ken.
So no, I think that's hilarious, Jess. No, I don't think you give AARP. You look young and vibrant. Like, get out of here.
Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
I would say for me, yes. More so because I tend to be very reserved. And I like to have, I'm kind of like what, an ambivert, introverted, extrovert. Some people think that doesn't exist. I beg to differ. I think it does. But I prefer to have like one-on-one conversations with people as opposed to like being in a group. I'm not going to roll up into the group and be like, hey, everybody. I'm more so just going to sneak in there and then have one-on-one conversations. So because of that, if you happen to be a guy who I'm talking to, I also will ask very introspective questions. Like, I really want to know about you. Like, I don't do too well with small talk, right? So by the time I'm walking away from this conversation, like, I'm surprised when the person's asking my number and I'm like, no, you're a human being. Like, how are you doing? I would really want to ask about you. Then, then I get, oh, you're leading people on. People think I'm flirting. And I'm like, no, if you just hang around me long enough, I will find out probably anything close to your social security number. I will ask about what's going on in your life. And people love to talk about themselves. So they'll just keep going. You will be surprised. Like, people will just keep going. And that's generally how it happens for me because I'm genuinely interested in people. They always think I'm hitting on them or flirting with them. I don't know how to flirt to save my life, but yeah.
Do you know what is interesting? Obviously, from a male perspective, and obviously going through the stages of life and how I've changed and matured over the time. At the very beginning, let's say 18. Listen, I would have taken your kindness as, well, maybe this girl likes me. Because I that was my only, because I wasn't really that guy. I was the fat kid. So, bro, to be honest, you having a conversation with me, I take it as is golden. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hadn't had much experience with women. So if you're being kind to me, I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe she just like me. You know what I mean? You have to spell it out for me, like before I got it. You know what I mean? Because I was new to the experience, I was new to the game. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I was not seeing it as a rejection. So if you decide you're gonna talk 3 days later, I'm thinking to myself, well, you're probably busy, man. I'll make all the excuses in the world. Oh, you're probably busy. You're probably doing something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I wouldn't say anything about it. I'm not catching the hints. So sometimes at that point, when you're young and you're naive and you're new to the game, you're not reading all the signs because you don't know what the signs are. You're assuming that's how people are, you know? So I definitely hear that, Ken. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I know that you ladies do be nice can be misconstrued. Go on, Ash. You want to say something?
I'm good. I was just saying, oh, that's so sad.
It is so sad. It is so sad. You got to grow up sometime. So I've got Lola here as well. I'm gonna add her to the stream as well because she's our resident out here too.
Hey, Lola.
How you doing, Lola? You're right, Lola. It's good to see you here as well.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm unmuted now. How's it going?
No, you're unmuted now. It's going good, sis. It's going good, sis. Going good. Since you're new to the panel today, not in general, but today, I want to answer that question. Have you ever been ghosted? Have you ever ghosted before? And if so, why?
So I haven't ghosted. I've always been one who hung out with the guys. So I kind of know firsthand what it takes for someone to step to you and say something. So I haven't done it myself. Have I been ghosted? Yes. And I kind of did what Jess said. I did the opposite. So, because to me, I have the understanding that no, you didn't lose my number. The dog didn't chew my number. You're not in an accident. You didn't die. So you didn't call me because you chose not to call me. So when that happens, I'll just kind of fall back and fold my arms. And it's happened maybe twice, I want to say. And both times it's like person never existed again. I mean, we both had our numbers, but I never called, say, oh, how you doing? Are you alive? I don't care. Because if you can't even text and say, you know what, I'm about to die. I want to spend my last few days with my family. If you can't say that, then we have nothing to talk about. So, yeah. And I would like to know why. But I mean, I heard your reason. Yeah, but now it was nothing like that. We had just started talking, you know, and it seemed like we had a good flow. Like, oh, it's great. Hey. And then all of a sudden, silence. And I wanted to, but yeah, I didn't go find out why. Because I was like, oh, really? If you've lost my number, I've lost yours too. So yeah, that's my feeling. But I'd love someone to really explain the purpose of it, other than, you know, your reasoning, which is further down the line. I won't say you should expect it, but you should kind of expect it when you know it wasn't really a relationship and you kind of went in that direction. But if you guys are just talking, maybe the person just all of a sudden loses interest and can't communicate. I mean, I've been in that position where I've been talking with someone and I was just like, I'm not really interested. And I'll communicate that. I mean, I'll make it sound like flowers. It's not you, it's me. But you won't just not hear from me again.
Can I be honest? Please. You know what? So there's so many different reasons why. One of the key reasons also is that sometimes if the man is genuine trying to have a relationship, trying to go forth in terms of a relationship, what can happen is that and remember, it's about sensing where that person is. So I call it battleships. Sometimes when you sense somebody's battleship is a bit too close to your borders and you're not ready to engage, ghosting happens. So if the person feel that you may be liking them more than they are liking you and they're scared it's going to go somewhere towards committing and they're not ready to commit, they, instead of having that conversation with you and being mature, as Ashley and Jess of Kenny have all said, especially men, we just go disengage. Just disengage in totality and just go leave it at that. Right. And it's not the right thing to do. I think a lot of us men, someone might say cowards. I would say some of us we get away with a lot in society. So this is one of I'll call the Peter Pan antics. So it comes with when men begin to mature, this behavior starts to wean out. But when a lot of men have been coddled, and whether you're in two-parent home, one-parent home, doesn't matter where you come from, when men have been coddled in society, unfortunately, we are given this license by society that certain behaviors are not looked down as being, I would class and say, wrong. Right. So instead of having a conversation with yourself, what a guy might do will be like, listen, okay, my girl's going too close to the borders. Let me disengage. Let me just disengage. Another reason is, and I think ladies do this probably more than men, they ain't finished in their last relationship. So they finished, they're out of a relationship, but they are about to go back. they are about to go back. So what they were doing was they were having a bit of time with you, and now the relationship has come back. I gotta run because I'm so sorry. I appreciate you, but I can't explain to you that I have to go back to my relationship, because that will mean if I come back next time, you are not going to accept me. Because you know that obviously I only came back because of a relationship, so that conversation cannot be had. You know what I'm saying? Let me throw that to the ladies on the panelists then before I go any further. Ladies, have you ever exited a relationship? Man's coming to talk to you, and you've gone back maybe to a relationship, and then you've had to like excommunicate with the person. I know you're all angels here, but you can tell the truth.
No, I'm playing.
We're all angels here. Can you hear that? No one's done that. No, right? You see those halos? All halos. We communicate properly. No, okay. Let me stop joking. Not really. How do I put? Not really. No, I wouldn't say I've done that, because it's, if I'm entertaining a guest, I'm using that term kind of loosely, or someone talking to me, that means the space for the person to talk. So, I mean, I've been in a position the other way where someone started talking to me and I didn't know till after the fact. But while we first started talking, he went back and cleaned up the mess. He cleaned up his house, got rid of whoever. And I kind of heard about that, I guess, months later. So he had just started talking. I was like, oh, this is where I want to be. And he went back and let her know, boom, broke it up. I don't know what happened, but it was later on a friend of a friend kind of told me what happened. But in terms of me doing that, cleaning up house while I'm starting something else, I haven't done that. So that's why I still don't get the ghosting thing. I would love someone to really explain why. I mean, I understand what you said. Sometimes guys are cowards, but I would love someone just to say, send a text. Hey, it's not, messy. It's not you, it's me. And listen, I've dropped that before, and that does not come out well. That does not come out well. Saying, oh, no, it's not you, it's me. That does not go down well. Ladies, have you ever heard that before? I'm just saying, have you ever dropped that before? Have you heard it before? It's not you, it's me.
Definitely. No, there's that.
Yeah. I've definitely dropped it. Yeah.
And I've said it too. So
like a thing that they do. Like if they're trying to smooth talk you, they say love after everything. So it's not just with me, love.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of run game. But the thing is, I feel like I have done that before. Like I've been in a relationship before where I feel like it wasn't going anywhere. Or I was kind of tired at the moment. The guy wasn't really doing what I wanted him to do. And it was just hard. And we just both kind of decided to kind of split. And you kind of move on, entertain, and then after a while, you're just like, but I kind of miss them. And then you kind of start talking back and you kind of just push the other person to the side and kind of, but, I mean, it has happened. What was the question again? Look.
If you ever said or ever heard someone say, it's not you, it's me. You know what I mean? That's
yeah. And then in that instance, yeah, of course, you'd be like, it's really not you. You're great. You're amazing. But, it's me. I'm still going through things. And I realized I wasn't really done. And, yeah, of course, you run that game sometimes.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me because and I didn't know at the time, but looking back, I understand why it happened. For a brief moment, I was insane, like maybe early 30s, and I was like, I'm gonna do it the way the world is doing it. I'm gonna holler at a guy. Horrible move, because I got my little feelings hurt, because what I did was I was like, I'm gonna be the modern woman. That's right. Went out for this guy not feeling me, so he kind of had to do the, I would say, half ghosting, half it's not you, it's me. And what I learned from that is stay in your lane, lady. Okay, don't do what they're doing out there. Stay in your lane, because generally, if a guy is interested, and I'm not saying it's solely his decision when you're in a relationship, but that wouldn't have happened to me had I not stepped out of my norm and allowed him to pursue me in the way it should be. But even just the initial approach, I said, and I looked at it like he didn't really have another choice, because I've done that too, but it's normal, quote unquote, when we do it. I'm like, did he really just, like, I was trying to be modern, trying to be, like they say, bad idea.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I've used this before, and it wasn't me, but I said it anyway. I'm telling all the stories tonight. So, and then there was a situation, okay, where, the girl came up. Basically, this was uni times. And I brought this girl over, and it got a bit heated. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? This is when I was at my boy's house, and we was all chilling, and she did something that was just wild. Yeah, and when I say wild, it's not that wild, but it was wild in the context of the social setting. You know what I mean? Like, you got into somebody's fridge, man. You know what I mean? Like, and you're taking something out, and it was just mad. So when it happened, yeah, I'm looking at her like, yo, this is a bit much, what you've just done. Yeah, and I'm not feeling the movements now. So now, obviously, when we're leaving the yard, and she's got to go to her way, I got to go my way. I'm thinking to myself, bro, how do you break this down to her to let her know this is not going nowhere without her feeling used? Because bear in mind, the night before we were kicking it, and it got heated. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their things though. It wasn't 2 minutes this time, but still, you know what I mean? Like, it was, I didn't want it to look like I was using her, because I generally wasn't. I was trying to feel her, but what she did, there was no comeback for me. You know what I mean? I believe in certain behaviors. So I remember standing in the train station, just looking at her, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. This is not you. It's a me thing. Okay. I just can't do it right now. Like, something's not working inside of me right now, blah, 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 blah. And I remember when I walked away, I was like, blood, for sure. And the reason why I didn't say it was her, I was scared to hurt the person's feelings. But at this point, I'm not realizing that this actually is also a weakness, to not be able to explain to somebody that this particular behavior that you felt was wrong because you're scared of hurting their feelings also is actually you're pampering. And actually what you're doing is actually you're trying to save yourself from having that hard conversation. So I wasn't actually being strong by saying, actually, no, let me take on the brunt and say it's me. No, I was actually being a little bit of a coward and saying, oh no, it's not you, it's me. I don't want to hurt your kind of feelings thing. But first of all, how would she learn if she does it again? We don't know, because you never told her. Number two, I really was trying to hide behind, yeah, it was me and but when it wasn't, I just wasn't feeling it anymore.
Or maybe you weren't feeling her, because you sound like she went into your fridge, and for that reason alone, all of a sudden it just kind of dissipated.
I wish it was my fridge. It wasn't even my fridge. That's why it's even more difficult. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that conversation didn't happen. So it's again, to your question about the ghosting situation. I want to ask a question: is there ever a right reason for ghosting? Is there ever can you ladies think of a right reason why someone can ghost you? Kenny's nodding her head, so can you go first?
Yeah. Oh, ghost me or me ghost them?
You ghost them, girl.
Okay,
well, either way.
Right. There are reasons why when it's acceptable if you're a stalker.
No, it's real. No, it's real.
No, seriously. Okay.
It's real.
Seriously, like, I mean, if you've been dating long enough, you have some crazy stories, and there are some people who, you just need to disappear on them, because if you tell them when you're leaving, it probably will escalate, and you just need to disappear. Okay, those are good reasons. If you have communicated an end to the relationship or talking or whatever, right, and they're just, it's not even about a hint. If you've clearly communicated, like, look, hey, maybe I'm no longer in the market, or I'm no longer like feeling this out or whatever, and they still not taking no for an answer, maybe you could like be understanding enough to kind of drag it out a little bit to like, okay, maybe if I let you have a soft landing, maybe it'll be good. But if they're not responding to that, you need to go. Those are the two reasons. But if it's just a situation where you haven't communicated at all, that you're not feeling it, you haven't communicated at all, that they've crossed a boundary, you've not said anything at all, and you just want to, and they haven't shown you any side of them that makes you feel unsafe. I mean, it's like what you said earlier. It's just you trying to protect yourself at that point. Ghosting, to me, it's not this cardinal like wrong or this cardinal sin. It's just a way that we protect ourselves. It's 100% the focus is on the person who's ghosting. They're not thinking about how the other person feels. They're not thinking about what the other person thinks or whatever. It's just more so, I don't want to put myself in this uncomfortable position for whatever reason, wherever I'm at emotionally. And in those instances, it's not really the other person. Yes, it's them. But yeah.
I think for ghosting, I can't really think of a good enough reason to ghost someone. Because one, if you're trying to ghost someone from a person who is a serial killer or a stalker, you might actually aggravate them even more, and they start kind of pursuing you. And then I think that if you ghost someone,
Mm.
you are actually running away. You
Mm.
don't have the courage or the strength within yourself to say it one time. And if you've given them warnings, then if you've already kind of told them that's fair enough, then that's not really ghosting anymore. You've told them so they're not surprised. But to me, I envision ghosting. You're talking one day, everything is fine. And the next day, silence. And that's how it stays. Now, I can't think of a good reason for that to occur. Like, other than the biggest fact, like what you said, your explanation so far is the one that's made the most sense to me, is like, you just didn't have it within you. You weren't manly enough. You didn't have enough courage to say what you meant and stand behind and say, you know what, this is how I'm feeling. If I had enough courage to approach you, I have enough courage to break it off and say, I'm done. Otherwise, then you're being a bit of a coward.
Mm.
Can I give one instance where okay, I'm going to give a personal story to that, because I tend to be one who I don't like ghosting. I've never been ghosted, but I've had to ghost, and it's very sad because I feel like men drive you to it sometimes. Right?
I hear you. I agree with you sometimes.
No, like I'm a big girl. I will have a conversation and tell you I'm not feeling it anymore, and I won't phrase it as it's not you, it's me. Like, no, I don't do that. I just tell you what's up. So I had the situation where I was dating this guy. He seemed amazing. He seemed great, but in the pit of my stomach, something just seemed off. Didn't know what it was, but just something just seemed off. We were like talking to each other for like a few months. So this isn't just someone I just like met off like the internet streets or just randomly. Like, it was like, okay, so we've had a bit of time to build a rapport and for me to feel like, okay, at least for now you seem like a decent enough person. And I kind of think of myself as a good, decent judge of character, but something just didn't seem good. We'd gone out like hiking and stuff like that. And he, emphasized that as being one of the sports that he really loves to be involved in. So like it was this big thing for him. I was like, okay, cool. So after like a few months, I just could not ignore what was in my gut. I was just like, I don't know what it is, but something that seems off. I'm going to trust my intuition. And I kind of had the conversation where I was like, look, I really don't know what's going on. I just feel like I need to take a step back, right? And so I did. Randomly, I'm just like chilling, minding my business randomly. And I start looking at my phone and I see like a few like scenery pictures that he'd sent me from some of the hikes that he's been on. And I was just like, let me just Google reverse search these. The reason being, when I had the conversation of like, hey, I'm not really feeling this, the response I got was like this very extreme, like volatile reaction. And I was like, it's not consistent with the person that I thought I knew. So I was like, okay, so I feel like I don't know you anymore. So I took the images that I gotten on my phone and I just put it into Google search to reverse search them. There were stock pics, like random pics that you see on the internet. Now, I don't know about anyone on this panel, but I'm not the little white girl in the movie who hears someone and she's like, oh, let me investigate. No. I'm not calling you up to say, hey, I found all these pictures on the internet. No. Because I don't know what kind of person lies about the most basic stuff about what they're seeing outside, out their window right then and there. I don't know what wires aren't completely connecting in your brain. I don't know what's going on there. So in that instance, you know what I did? I blocked him and I kept it pushing.
Awesome.
Kept it pushing. In that instance, I think it's okay to ghost. There's no need to have this long, drawn-out conversation about investigating what no. I know you're a liar. I don't need you to confirm it. I know.
I rock with that. Yeah. Go on, Ash. You gonna say?
I was going to say a reason to ghost someone, because now that I'm thinking about it, like when I was in college and stuff, I remember dating this guy. Like, he was really cute and everything. We went on dates and stuff, but his hygiene, like, his breath would always stink, like all the time. Body odor, like everything. And I was like, okay, maybe it was just a day. Like, maybe it was just a day. So, we did it again. And I was just like, okay, I can't say it. I don't need you talking in my face. And then so we had the movies and you want to tell secret. You want to whisper. So it's just like that button was like extra strong. So I was like, no. He had to go. Like, I was like, this ain't gonna work. Like,
it's not you, it's me.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've had a couple speeches like that. It's not you, it's me. My cat died, anything.
Yeah, so hygiene is definitely a reason for someone to get ghosted. Definitely.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I work with that. I'm with you on that. Interesting stuff. So I had some reasons here down as to why some people do ghost.
Mhm.
One was crossing your emotional or physical boundaries. Number two was, again, I already said this, the person was only using you to waste time. You were a placeholder so they can go back to the ex. You're liking them too much and they want to vacate the premises. And also as well, personal situations. So there's an emotional situation you're going through or a very difficult time you're going through. So family issues that are piling up on your end and you're not sure how to deal with it, and so therefore you're being emotionally overwhelmed, and that causes you then to ghost that individual person as well. And I think the final point was also that if you've just newly come out of a relationship and then someone's presenting commitment and you find out you like the person but you weren't ready to commit at that point because you just come out of a relationship. But you girls have actually spoken on something which I think is really important. I think Kenny mentioned it, and it's one of the things I like to talk about, which is the safety of women when it comes to dating. Because I think as men, we are not aware of those kind of dangers. We don't have. Oftentimes, I know some guys like to twist them, like, yeah, but guys too soft. I'm like, listen, it doesn't work the same way, bruh. Okay, it's like it doesn't work the same, bro. So I guess I want you ladies to kind of speak a bit on that, so that I guess we can educate anybody who watches this live or watches it after. Because I think guys are unaware that some behaviors can make you feel unsafe, therefore causing you to either ghost or even have a conversation and say, listen, I'm not for this any longer, right? I don't know if anyone, do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't know if anyone wants to hit that or go first or speak on that particular issue.
I feel like so I'm assuming based on what you're saying, somebody you've met already and they give you this vibe of making you feel unsafe. Because I feel like if they get that vibe up front, we probably won't initiate anything at all. But if this is somebody you're talking to, let's assume it's somebody online and they're able to, you meet their representative, you don't know who they are. And let's say you meet for coffee. And a person acting like he's, one eye's going the other direction, acting a little crazy, like has a tick. Then so maybe that's a point where you're a little concerned that you don't know who you're dealing with. Then that would be a situation. That could be a situation where you don't want to, I guess you could just kind of bid them farewell. And so, but that's still not ghosting though, because you've kind of met and spoken. So yeah, I can't think of a reason because
maybe not ghosting, but even just in general, like in general dating, you know what I mean? Just because I want the men to understand your position. Because for instance, let me give you an example. A guy approaches you on the street. Hey, love, how you doing? Right? It's going smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, can I get your number? No. What do you mean I can't get your number? You dumb.
Ooh.
That I'm talking about them. You see, because for a lot of men, it's like it's nothing. Oh, he just told her, "Are you dumb?" Like it's not a big deal. Men oftentimes do not see that this is an issue and that this is encroaching on safety of the person. So
yeah,
just give you a bit of context on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in those kind of situations where you do meet the people who are a little more, I don't want to use the term aggressive, but maybe a little too friendly for your comfort level. Usually by that time, there's always a distance I usually have. I always kind of keep a distance. And particularly when I'm working, I'm a little paranoid. So I always look around. Even at work, I work in an emergency room and I'm always aware my back, the door is and different exits, because we do have people who come in who do that all the time. And they are aggressive and they do hit people. So my go-to is always, look, I know where my exits are. I know what's going on. And there's always a distance, because I've had someone charge on me before, but because I'm a little paranoid, I had enough space to kind of avoid it. And then enough time for other people to kind of intercede and move the person to the side. But yeah, for most females, I'd always say, when you feel a little inkling, that little thing in the back of your mind that makes you feel something, you don't know quite what it is, still go with it. Don't just because there's a tendency as females, sometimes we override that, that little thing that tells us something is wrong. So even if you can't prove it, just, heed with caution, like have somebody around, be in a crowded place, because every time I've had that little inkling about other things, it's always, I don't know why, but it's always come to true. It's always kind of passed to be true that something is wrong with that person I'm dealing with.
Yeah. And that's 100% true. That aggression is very scary. That's why a lot of the times, whenever it's anything, I don't go by myself. Like I'm never like, if we're going to a club or something, I'll have a friend, like we'll meet and we'll go together. Coming from a culture in New Orleans, that was very much the case, where guys would do that. They would talk to a girl, and if like, let me get your phone number, and you say no, they'll like want to curse you out. They had instances where guys would fight a girl, turn him down, and his ego would be hurt. He's in front of all his friends, and he would punch a woman, like pick her up, slam her down, like all kind of stuff. That is so real. And so it got to the point where, even with that, you had to learn how to finesse. Even if I wasn't interested in you, like I give a fake number, or I would do something. At that time we didn't have cell phones, so it was different. If I gave you a number, you couldn't call my number right then. So it was just like, you would be nice. Oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, he's so like, or he's around, or like you just try to handle him with kid gloves because you didn't want to have to deal with any of that kind of stuff. And that's a reality for women, that guys would do that. Or they would, my mom would always say, back in her day, like, you go to your car, make sure you look around. You're very conscious, like look in your back seat before you drive off. Look underneath your car as you're walking, like kind of walk with your keys in between your fingers as you're walking down the street or going to your car. Like, be very conscious. Even when you unlock your car, don't unlock all of the doors. Kind of set your settings so it can unlock your door first, or only yours, because someone will jump in a car. In high school, that was the case. Someone did that to a girl in high school. She unlocked the car, got in, and the guy jumped in on the passenger side in the parking lot of the high school and held her at gunpoint. And
What?
yeah, I'm serious. So it's like that kind of stuff. As a woman, it is not the same as a man. We have so many things that you don't even pay attention to. As soon as I come into my apartment, I'm locking the doors immediately. I'm looking, checking in my house to make sure nobody's there. And that kind of stuff with dating is very serious. I think I only experienced one time where I dated this guy. Well, was going on dates with a guy, and it wasn't too serious, but I had an experience when I told him no about something. His aggressive tone, like it was very aggressive, and it got to the point where it scared me. Like I felt like this guy would hit me, like if we were having an argument, he would have, but we were on the phone, and I decided to cut it off, But for women, that is definitely a very real thing, that guys would, even if they don't know you, they like you, think you're out of their league, they'll probably try far if they have that mentality, So, that's definitely something that we have to be conscious of, and we have to teach our children and nieces and women coming underneath us to be very mindful.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very big too on safety, never going by myself, like at night or like night, get gas, get groceries. These are things you don't think about, but I've subconsciously like built habits to where I don't do that. If I'm going walking just to get exercise, this has been for years, several places I live. I can't do walking in neighborhoods. Like I go to places to walk because I don't have a pet or a dog, and I don't feel comfortable. We're not going to give specific cities, but living in California, the Bay Area, there's some sketchy parts, just like a lot of states. And I don't want anyone to get used to seeing me walking. That's another reason why I know everyone's been into it this year. There are crazy people who work for Uber Eats and delivery places. And as a woman, I used to, there was a couple times when I lived in SoCal and I had to get a Uber like to the airport or something. So I would go to a store like a block away from my home to then get into the car, because I don't want people knowing where I live when you live by yourself. Like, you have to think of these things. And then chivalry kind of goes out the window, because I will never, until, whenever I'm married in the future, you cannot pick me up. No, because if I'm dating you initially, you can't know where I live, because you could be crazy. Even if I think that my discernment is right on, and I have good vibes, there won't be any pickups probably for months, and I'm talking like months, because that's another way where even if you think you're ghosting, if someone knows where you live, you can't ghost that hard. So yeah, that's a safety measure. Is, it's not like I'm trying to be secretive, but no, we have to. And it's sad that you can't. That feeling of my mom or other people, like, he came and picked me up and it was fun. That sounds lovely, but we're not in that era anymore. Like, you can't come pick me up. Sorry.
That is a real thing there. That's a real thing. Because obviously, and I've spent some time with a friend, obviously, and she's like educating me on a lot of these kind of issues. But I think just hearing you ladies say it again, I think it's highlighting just the difficulties that arise through the society that we're in. And it just means that obviously I'm hoping that if there's, I know some men in this chat as well, that as they hearing that, it's not to demonize us men. It's to let us know that, listen, due to my gender, okay, being as evil as they are, it's causing people to have to change the way that they operate in order so that they can feel safe. So I want the men to, as they're hearing this is not for you to like, I'm not one of those men, but it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, unfortunately, some of our gender have done that behavior, and now it's caused the other gender to have to really evaluate how they move. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be a fool to act the exact same way if you've experienced something and it's led to a negative experience. You know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't expect a woman to act the exact same way. I expect there should be changes that will come about that. So, I really wanted to have this conversation because I wanted to be able to speak about that, because we're in the age now where everything's dating online. If you're on the app, I don't know what apps you guys have in America, but there's loads here in the UK. I'm sure you've got plenty there as well. Mine, Instagram and that. But you just never know who's crazy. You just never know. And as a man, I could probably take that risk, but as a woman, it's not the same. You know what I mean? So I wanted to highlight that, bring that to our understanding. So when the point that you made, Kenny, about the ghosting because the guy was stalking, I totally understood it. Like, I don't even want to hear a conversation. I wouldn't expect you to even have a conversation. That would be straight block, delete, Megan. But go on, Kenny, you have your mic on. You want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say everything that the ladies have said, 100% stand behind. One train of thought that I'm kind of veering into, the more I date, and I don't really know how comfortable I am with it, is sometimes I just wonder, do men actually like women as people? Not for what you can get, not for, not transactionally, right? A lot of, like, when you hear everything that has been said, it's like, he tried to say hi, she said no. Wow, like, it became this big thing. It's like, would you treat a dude who just didn't respond to you? Would you treat him like that?
No.
Like, sometimes I feel like the way the rules are set up, and when I say the way the rules are set up, I mean gender roles and all that good stuff. Like, I'm for gender roles to a certain extent, but I feel like sometimes it can have us operating with our blinders on.
Yeah.
Where we think men are this, women are that. We're walking around with this binary. And so because of that, as a man or as a woman, if you don't encounter a man who fits into that, you have a visceral reaction because there has to be something wrong with them. Right? And so we're walking around as women feeling unsafe when society tells us men are supposed to be protectors. It just seems like such an irony. Right? So it's like, what's going on here? I don't know. I would leave that open to the rest of the panel, but I would say, though, for people watching and stuff like that, if you encounter a man who seems incredibly defensive about your desire to protect yourself in any way that you want to protect yourself, run.
Y'all better run. Yeah, that's what I said. Run.
If you want to take a picture of a license plate and he makes you feel bad for that, run. If you want to carry pepper spray and he gaslights you about that, run. Whatever it is that you feel you need to do to ensure your safety, if he belittles you, minimizes it, gaslights, whatever the word is, run. Don't explain it. Don't rationalize it. He knows what the streets are like. He knows how real it is. Right?
I agree. Any ladies want to add before we shift it? Go on, Ash. Oh, have I muted you? Sorry. Go on.
I would definitely say that's why even it goes to our earlier conversation about a guy being persistent and why that's not really necessarily attractive for us anymore.
Okay.
Because you can be too persistent and it's just like, now I'm taking it as a threat, and it's like, no, it makes us feel uncomfortable. We've seen these things. And like she said, that is where sometimes the good guys don't, they're like, why do good guys always finish last? Because sometimes you're always skeptical. Like, what is it? When show me, like, what is really going on? you know, because it's not how it used to be when our parents and grandparents used to go out. So yeah, that persistence is another thing why that's a turnoff as you get older. No, that persistence is not attractive, especially if I'm not giving you these cues and you're just fully going. No, now it's like I'm scared. You're really gonna get blocked. Not just like I don't want to talk. You're gonna get blocked, you know. So yeah.
I want to add something, just like you said. The whole thing of, can you like a woman, and it goes for a man too, as the person. Because what I have found is that adults who we all want interactions, we're all about networking, we're all about all these things. If you don't, for some reason, like a guy in that way, it can be perceived as, oh, you let him on. But you can genuinely, have you ever like looked at a person and you're like, we may not, I don't know what we may be, we may not, but I like you. Like, I actually like you. And it's a hard thing for adults to say, especially to a guy. You could say it to a woman easier, but like, I want to be your friend, and it not sound corny or cliche. Like, there's something about them that you like. You're like, you could push me in a way that I don't even know yet, or there's something. But because it's a man and a woman, it's always like, well, they were nice to me, so they let me on. And it's like, that's not always the case. How do we build friendships, outside of the dating part, if we can't ever do that and it be normal? Like, do you just like me? Like, just put a bag over my face. Like, how about like for instance, like you said, like, I'm funny. Like, you didn't laugh at that joke? Like, you're whack. Like, I'm hecka funny. Like, what's wrong with you? And you want people to appreciate you past it's nice to be told, oh, you're attractive or whatever, but that's not much. You can get hit by a bus tomorrow. Like, do you like who I am? So that's something that I think can be an issue a lot of times.
That's a difficult. You know what? It's so interesting because I think that friendship aspect is such a difficult thing. You know, we spoke about this before, Jess, and Kenny, I think you were on here, and Loda, you was on here as well. We spoke about this boys and girls being friends stuff. And I'll say again, I think it's very tentative. I think you can find that. I think there are exceptions to every rule. By the way, I'm one of those. But anyway, so there's exceptions to every rule. Okay. But when it comes to males and females being friends, I think it's always tentative because more times someone's liking somebody. And if the guy likes a girl, this is an impossible situation because I shouldn't say it's an impossible situation. I think certain guys lack discipline, right? So either you are in the box of liking me or I destroy the box. So, I'm not here to be a friend. I know women and sometimes I'll be honest with you, sometimes women try to get men to be their friend because they can see the value of that person intrinsically. So they can see the good qualities they have, but they don't want to date them. They want to be friends. And that person's like, I don't want to be your friend. I want to be more than that. And so if you're offering friendship, I just tear out the box. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys go on, sis. Yeah, ask it.
Don't say how do you even, so if that's the case, and I know not everyone thinks this way, but modern day, a lot of people, we all talked about it a week ago or so, to be friends before you date, be friends before you date. Everyone says that. What does that look like if you don't want to be my friend, or a particular, let's just use guy B or D, whoever he is, you don't want to be my friend? Where do we? Okay, so there's dating, I get it, and then there's friendship. But how do you even networking? Like, you can't tell me that you already have women friends. How did y'all become friends? It was just like, okay, so do they have to be ugly? So any friend you have has to be ugly, or like
listen,
how does that work?
I can't control my noise out here. I'm trying to make sure I don't get into any situations. So listen, I'm honest about my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm honest about it. I have to own it, bro. You understand? I can't do that stuff, fam. Do you understand? If I find you attractive and I'm finding you mad attractive, we don't need to be that close. We can set some very good boundaries. Doesn't mean we can't be chill, we can't talk, etc., etc. But I am not going to allow myself to get emotionally too close to you. But that may be my attachment style as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? If any chance I feel for me, it's a case of I don't want to get too close and I start feeling a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Because that's heartbreak. I'm sorry, that is heartbreak. When you start feeling something for somebody and you know damn right they already done told you they ain't interested, that is heartbreak. Yeah. So I don't want to do that. So yes, I have a female best friend. That's the only one. That's the only person I can deal with because we've been friends and we've gone through some mad things.
Oh,
You know what I'm
okay, okay.
saying?
I was gonna say, are all your friends ugly? Like, what's
I don't have female friends after that. That's the only
okay?
person. She's an exception to the rule. But
Okay,
every other
okay.
woman, I couldn't be. And when I say friends, the word friends for me is very strong. It's not the I see you, and yes, we can have a little bit of a chin wag for 5 minutes. I'm talking. I let you know my dirt. I can see your dirt. You see me vulnerable and naked. I see you vulnerable and naked. Please, emotionally, not naked in physicalities. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I say you're my friend. So if I say a woman's my friend, that is a very big statement. I know you and you know me.
But
Can I say that for a woman? No, I
but how
can't.
another woman besides that female friend, how can another woman be your friend? Like, how is that even possible for you?
She can't.
Yo, Kojo, I thought we were friends.
Huh?
I thought
Right.
we were friends. Like,
No,
what's
no,
up with
no,
that?
no, 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 no,
But
no,
don't you
no.
have to be
I've been
No,
calling
friends?
no,
you
no, no.
bruv,
See.
like,
No,
what
no,
is
but wait.
this?
No, but look, but we are friends to us. Let's say if you want to say friends, I used to have a word. What was it called now?
You're associates. That's what
Associates. I used to love the word associates.
Associate?
We're associates because we are meeting here, and you know me to a certain extent,
Yeah,
but I know
yeah,
you to a certain extent.
yeah.
But I wouldn't go beyond a certain line. Do you know what I mean? I respect the
Right.
line. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so for me, that's why I would say that. Do you know what I mean? But if it came that, you know, if you got closer, then you never know. But in my head, I've got it as one person. That is my people's. That is it. As when it comes to females, the rest of them are guys. You understand? Now people can get close to me and know some stuff, but they don't know totality. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. For ladies, for you, I mean, have you got good guy male friends? And I'll say friends, not one, as in more than one. Have you got
Yes.
those?
Yes.
Those who you know, and let me just put this quickly. Let me put this correctly. I don't want you to out anybody. Ones that are not, that you know categorically are not going to slide in if you open the door. I need that type of friend, not the one that's holding the door and saying, I ain't going to come in, but the one that is saying, I'm not interested in the door. I'm your friend. Tell me you got
Is that
them ones.
possible? Let's be real. I don't know. Like, I have a lot of friends, but honestly, you just don't know. Like, if you slipped and fell and your legs open, I can't categorically say honestly. But because typically, particularly in college, a lot of people I moved with were male, so they were my friends. But can I put my money down on it that if things like, if I just gave like an inviting look or said come on, I don't know. But typically, most of the people I hang out with are males. But honestly, that's why we come up with that conversation: can males or females truly be friends, or is someone having an ulterior? Does one person have an ulterior motive? Because sometimes it switches. One person likes the other person. The other person's not there yet. They switch out again, and then they switch out. Sometimes they meet, and that's when they get a good relationship. But sometimes they don't meet. So honestly, I can't say that's not the case.
Good point. Ashley, you was hyping up in that corner. Go on, tell me then.
No, she said that she slipped and fell and her legs flew open. No.
Listen, it can happen, you know. This is why I said I don't want to play that game. That's why I don't want to play that game. I don't want to slip and fall.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I do actually have some friends, some guy friends like that. But I think it's all in how you meet. So it's like a bunch of, like, back home, well, in Houston, I have a bunch of friends and we all get together, girls, guys, and we're all just like literally just friends. And that's it. And I don't feel like they would try me. Like, even if I gave them that opportunity, I do have some friends that are friends that I feel like,
if you give an inch.
all right, come on. If I slip and fell and my legs flew open, they would take advantage. They would be like, hey, what's up? I do actually have some real genuine guy friends that if I needed them for anything, I can call them, and it would strictly just be that. Yeah.
Any?
I want to say yeah, but now Lola, you got me thinking. I guess maybe, and then that kind of saddens me. I'm like, dang, maybe they're not my friends. But I mean, okay, I like them all. I like them all, but like you said, they don't know the ins and outs. I have some good guy friends who stay from college, right? Who maybe currently they've never even been over to my house, but we've been apart for like, I mean, I'm not gonna date myself, that but mid-30s. It's like, so it's been a minute since college. So we are friends. I could call them at any time for anything, but we don't talk every day. Some of them may have been married, maybe they're not anymore, but it's still not a thing. It's just like, I mean, they're my friends. So I don't know if that's too far removed from a friendship. Are you talking to someone? Am I going out hanging out before COVID? Were we going and having dinner and hanging out? No, not too many guys like that. No, it's more like I call you, check on you, make sure you're good. If I'm moving, I could call a couple people. but generally we're not sitting like watching, movies, eating popcorn together. Like,
There's levels to this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny,
Yeah.
you're gonna say you touched the button. Go on, Kenny.
I know. Oh, Lola, that whole the legs were falling. I'm sorry, you took me out with that one. That was hilarious. The visual. But my comment is actually going to be part comment, part question. I if you'd asked me this like maybe like 6 years ago or so, I probably would have been like, yes, I have guy friends who blah 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 blah. We hang out all the time, have friend dates and all that good stuff. But no, they're all married. And now that I think back, we're obviously no longer friends. But now that I think back, I'm like, oh no, we weren't friends. Like, no. Now as an adult, because I feel like I was really young back then, I don't think there's anything wrong with knowing a guy who's your friend is attracted to you. What I think is the problem, and which is like,
you okay?
Let me land this plane before you taxi me off the runway, okay?
Go on, girl.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with knowing that a guy who is my friend, and like you, I use the word friend very sparingly, right? This is someone who I'm very close to. I have no problem with if they're attracted to me. What I do have an issue with is how their boundaries are set up, right? If every 10 seconds it's a compliment, it's a slick this, it's a trying to touch me. First of all, if you're like that, you wouldn't be my friend because I would already feel the need to put some concrete boundaries there. But if I think you're attractive, you think I'm attractive, and we're friends and we hang out a lot and we're still actively dating, but we both agree that we're not, for whatever reason, we're not going to date each other, I don't think that there's a problem with that. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Kenny, let me tell you straight. Okay, you're telling me. No. Let me. You're telling me that you are saying, oh my God, you're saying you may be in a situation where you're attracted to the guy. The guy's attracted to you.
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all are friends. Let me just tell you something. North and South Pole.
I'm attracted to them. I find them attractive.
Oh, okay, you find them attractive.
Like, you're not an ugly, like, you're not, Quasimodo walking around. Like, you're an attractive person.
No. You find them attractive, or they are attractive. I want to just make that
clear.
They
are attractive. Like, they
are attractive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of you is playing the long game, is what I mean.
That's what I'm gonna say. Someone's gonna slip and fall eventually.
Shoot, I may still be naive. Okay, maybe when I'm like, I'll look back at the person that I am now and be like, "Girl, shut up." I don't know. Yeah. But what I'm saying for mid-30s me right now is that as long as we respect each other's boundaries and we're not. So, okay, I've had men who had girlfriends be like, guys and girls can be friends, but then they're acting slick. I will block you with the quickness because even if you don't respect your commitment, I do. All right. I've had guys who were trying to be my friend, but a comment will slip here and there. I don't block you because you're a human being. Thanks for the compliment, but I will not be intimate in emotions with you because I am not attracted like that. But if you mutually are growing together, if something happens out of it, there is no problem with that. I'm not saying that it'll be a situation where I'm like, nothing can ever happen because I don't want to lose the friendship. People that you love and you're friends with and you're attracted to are rare. Why not? But what I'm saying is that when I'm not playing the long game and keeping you there. If it happens, it happens. But that's not the intent. Okay,
that's cool. Let me bring. I got a guy in the background here, Rick.
Yes.
I hope Rick is going to give us some stemming. Oh, go on, we say this. You want to Rick there?
A guy on. I want to say for me.
Hold on, Rick.
What's kind of good too is that like they'll all of my guy friends that are my guy, like current guy friends, like Hollywood knows about. Like my dude, he knows about them, and he's you know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's a big thing. I make sure that they're included, like they can see until they feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Where he doesn't feel threatened or doesn't,
I mean, is Hollywood cool with me? I just want to make sure, you know what I mean? Like I don't need that kind of heat. You know what I'm saying?
He's cut.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that kind of stress. Let me bring my guy on, Ricky Rick. Rick, you there?
Hey, yeah, I'm here.
Sir. I like the
Why
voice
you
is
got
deep
that
too.
little deep voice on for us right now?
Listen, Ashley, you see what I'm saying? You're gonna be friends with a deep voice like that. It's not possible. So, Rick, we want your opinion here. We've currently moved the conversation on to, we took a little junction, little stop. We're talking about obviously male and females being friends and stuff like that. I mean, what's your viewpoint here? Male and females, can they be friends? Do you have female friends? How close are those female friends? Talk to us.
Yeah. Well, that's going to depend a lot on the guy, and just how his perspective on things.
Mm,
I know a lot of guys that are hanging in the background, and they're your friend, hold
mhm,
your hand and sympathize and all that, and all they're waiting on is that opportunity,
mm,
that moment when that woman gets a little weak and things ain't
mm,
going right,
mm.
and you, yeah,
Preach.
that's not a lot of them are gonna say no, to the
Preach.
opportunity. It just depends on the guy and his character.
Mm,
You know, I mean, and a lot of guys will say, yeah, we're friends. Yeah, no, I'm the dude. Get drunk one night, have that look on your face, and we'll see how that goes.
the
Because
door's open.
the honest truth is a lot of guys are not gonna. Guys know in a pivotal, situation like that, it takes a certain kind of guy to be saying no. Because I know a lot of guys that are probably not going to say no, and don't be fine. You know, if ugly
Mm,
will get it, fine will definitely get won't get the no. I mean, and that's
mm,
just how it is with a
mm.
lot of guys. I mean, and that's just the truth. I mean, I might get banged up by a lot of
No,
guys
you
for
ain't
saying
lying.
that's just what it is. You know,
So let me ask you. So have you got some female friends here? Talk to us, sir. Because that voice is a bit deadly. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought you was ready to love. I'm not gonna lie to you, cuz. Talk to us. You have female friends. Actually, you felt it. I thought he was on Put a Ring or Ready to Love. That accent, the voice, everything.
That is the quiet storm. I feel at night before I go to sleep.
okay, now I'm listening to the question now. What was that question?
The question
So
is,
long.
do you have some female friends? Do you have female friends?
Yeah, but like they're like really friends. And now you got some women on deck here, and maybe they can attest to this, or they can, I have some female friends. I've had some situations where like I don't want to waste my time just kind of hanging out in that kind of way with people just to be doing it. I'm not looking for the notches on the belt and the blah blah blah. So I
Mm,
try to be like a real friend, But I've had people that said that they were cool with just, that friend part, but then they tried to make kind of moves like they weren't being like honest about that. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And I know my guys I know do that. They do that. Yeah, I'm your friend, girl. Yeah, we can be that. And that's not real. That's waiting for that moment. And when that moment comes, that's the test. When that moment comes.
mm,
Fake these women can fake drunk one night with that guy that say they're a friend. Just fake it
mm.
and be falling all over him. And he should take you home or do whatever he's supposed to do to, you know what I mean? Just
You're going back to his
kind of
crib.
ward that off. Hey, look, you're not in your right mind. But watch, I mean, it might not turn out that way. It takes being there. You don't want to be in that position in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mm,
then that's the mistake, and then the friendship suffers. But I've been there, but when I've kind of like backed off, like, hey, I thought, what's going on? People get upset. You know what I mean?
mm.
I don't know if it's feeling rejection, but it's not rejection. It's
Are
these
you saying
people
you
are
rejected? Are
attracted.
you are
They
you
are
saying that?
no, they're
Are you
attractive.
saying you
I'm
saying that
saying
you resisted it? Are you
no,
no?
no,
I need
no.
to make it
Well,
clear, Rick. Are you
I
saying
said
you
I no,
resisted the
no, no, no,
moves?
no, no, no. I didn't say that I reject. I said they feel that, but it's
Okay,
not
I
that
can make sure.
they're attractive. I'm not rejecting them on attraction or desire. It's just that I know that it's not going anywhere.
Mm,
So what's the point? I mean, everybody has to figure out as what they're in whatever for. What are you looking for? What are you
mm,
trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? And if you're using your time somewhere else. You may be wasting your time with somebody that's using you as ego food, you know. And there's a lot of that, you know, guys talking to women and it's just ego food, you know, that's just to make them feel good. They're narcissists. They get off on that. And they're wasting their time because for the guy it's not going anywhere because he doesn't want it to go. He likes that attention, and that's just that. I know some of these women that have had guys get their attention, right? And once the guy has it, oh, that's it. You know, now they're not getting, you know, that treatment or that, you know what I mean? Once he's got their attention, women do that as well, you know, but they, you know, then it's nothing. And he's acting like they're not there, you know, and they're wondering what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it, you know, it's real. It's a dirty planet, man. It's real diverse out there. So you just have to be monitoring the character of the people that you're dealing with. You know.
No, I appreciate it, Rick. I'm gonna bring another guy on. So I've got another guy to come in. You know, today the guys are coming strong. But this is a guy. This is another guy that y'all gonna remember. Okay. This is a guy that you gonna remember.
Tell us who.
You gonna remember this guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna introduce him. I don't introduce him. When you see him, you're gonna know. Hey!
Oh, there he is. There he
okay.
is.
Oh. It's the love master himself.
He's about to spit some bars. Let's hear it.
How you doing, Captain? You right?
How y'all doing?
Damn! Wait, hold on. It's too deep. Slow down. Did you hear my earphones be vibrating?
He used to hear us. They over here trying to talk all.
Mike, you just made your voice a little bit lower than before, yeah? Is that what you did?
We got women in here. I got it. Hello. we got friends in here. Shit.
Hello.
Hey, friend.
Mike, thank you. We appreciate you out here. We appreciate you, Mike. Mike, we're talking right now. You know, we're talking about male and females being friends, right? So we wanted to get your opinion as a male. Okay. Can male and females be friends, genuine friends? And if they can, do you have any female friends that you're cool with that are not trying to slide in? You know, because you're no longer Mike no more. You Mike that we see on the screens. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't even know. I saw this guy on Netflix the other day.
Yeah,
so listen,
that movie.
He's not the same Mike. He's not the same
Yeah.
Mike anymore. This is Mike. You know what I'm saying? So Mike, talk to me. Do you have some female friends? Can male and females be friends? Talk to us, sir.
Yeah, okay. So it's how you start is how you finish. So my best friend is a female named Atika Washington. I met her in 1999.
Okay.
And I met her because I was like, yo, what's up with your girl? Put me on your friend. That's how I met her. You know, I met her trying to holler at her friend. And then, you know, then I had one of my guys. She was like, oh, what's up with him? I'm like, hey, man, I put her on. And we ended up, we was roommates for a while. Like, we never had we've been drunk together. She's like my sister, you know what I'm saying? I give her real advice about guys. You know, if she's in the wrong, see what you gotta watch out for is if it's a guy, and every guy you bring up, he always got something bad to say about him. He's never rooting for you to actually be happy. Then that's the other kind of friend. That's the friend waiting in the bushes with his hands in his drawer.
Wait for you to flip.
He waiting for a little vulnerability. He did what, girl? Shit, come on in here. Let's talk about it. But I've also had other friends. But see, me, I'm a little different. I'm just raw. So I don't know how to act like I want to be your friend. I'm gonna just tell you, like, hey man, I like you. I'm not gonna do the whole. But a lot of guys, I think it's a confidence thing. Where, you know, we get rejected all our lives. That's all men do. Hunters get rejected. A lion chases down 7,000 gazelles a day and only catch one. That's what he does. He's a hunter. Hunters are here. You get more rejection than you get approval. So sometimes a guy meet a woman and he's like, damn, she really ain't on my level. I mean, I'm not on her level. You know, if I just come forward and just say, hey, it's not gonna work. So let me just be her friend for a long ass time, like in the movies. And then look You know, this little short, stubby dude is a good person. I want to be with him.
Mm.
You know, that's what some guys believe in that, and it may work. You know, that shit don't work with men. If we ain't attracted to you, I don't give a fuck if you can spit out gold dust, baby. It just ain't it.
Mm.
You're a great person. You're gonna be my greatest friend. There's nothing gonna change. I'm not gonna be like, damn, I just see something there. If we're not, because we're more physical creatures than women are. I don't know. 2020 a little different. These women, they gotta be attracted to your ass. This ain't like the 60s. These women got jobs and shit now. They got businesses. These women ain't in the kitchen no more barefoot. They like, no, he ain't fine. He too short. He too. So I take that back because women, it ain't 1957.
Mm.
These women, we working for these women now, shit. So they
Give me 10 that.
You got to clock in and get fired by a woman, some shit.
I feel that.
Yes, it is. It is what it is, man. But yeah, I agree. I know what the brother's saying. I'm not discrediting Rick saying some real stuff, but I think it's all relative, you know, on the guy. Some guys, I'm I'm cool with getting rejected. I'm gonna put my teeth out there and try to shake you up in the bushes. And if you say no, whatever, you too this, you too that. You know, I've been ghosted. You know, it's just okay, whatever. I'm still breathing. But sometimes men, we get that one. We like just the one. You know what I'm saying? We don't want rejection in this one. So let me befriend her. You know, you all the bad advice about all the men. Derek Jackson, you know.
Hey, I like Derek Jackson. I ain't nothing wrong with Derek Jackson, okay? Get some good advice.
Derek Jackson, you to death. Ain't nobody a good man but me, baby. All these men ain't shit. Derek Jackson, your ass, and then you fucking have a shot of tequila and have the muscles on your ass.
I appreciate it, Mike. I'm going to shift the conversation because we've got our next topic we need to deal with. And I know we like this conversation. It's real. But I want to deal with, I was going to say dealing with accusations, but I want to skip to, would you date a single parent? Now, I want some just real, honest, respectfully conversations on this, you know, because I think this is a real topic. We're in 2020, you know, and, you know, they're you know, you're going to come across, you know, some single people, male and female. So I want to pose this question to those who are panelists. I know some people in the background as well. I'm going to invite them on to come and have a conversation as well. But the question is, would you date somebody who's a single parent? And before we get you to answer, I'm going to show you a video, okay? Because it's very important I show the video. So for a few minutes, y'all going to be silent and just watch this. And then let me know how you think and you feel about dating single parents.
Hey, Daniela here. So today I want to talk to you about the trap of dating a single parent, but it is not what you think. So many of you said that you would prefer to date a single parent for a whole bunch of reasons. Maybe you yourself are a single parent and you think that other single parent is the only person who could really understand what you're going through. Or maybe you yourself are not a parent, but you're looking for a single dad or a single mom because you think that that kind of experience will give somebody a higher level of understanding, a higher level of nurturing and caring, and that they can focus on something bigger. Well, here's the trap. The only reason to date somebody who's a single parent is because you want to get to know them and you want to get to know their kids. That's everything. If you can love them and you can love their kids, that is the exact right reason to date a single parent. There is no other reason. I know this from experience. There was a time in my life where I dated exclusively, consciously, by choice, single dads. It started out as a fluke, and then I thought that it was the right thing to do. For me, I put meaning into a single dad being more nurturing, more caring, more understanding, having a higher level of consciousness because he was a parent. But the reality is that there are people who are parents who are totally self-involved and not more evolved, not caring, not nurturing. And there are people who have never had children and maybe never will, who are as caring, as evolved, as loving, as nurturing as you want somebody to be who's your partner, right? It doesn't correlate. This is the trap. Don't assume that because someone's a single parent, they have qualities that, you know, makes them a better partner. It's just not true. Someone who's a great partner can be childless, and somebody who has a kid who's a parent can be a really crappy partner. It doesn't necessarily correlate. So don't fall into this trap. The only reason that you should be dating a single parent is because you have the capability of loving them and loving their children. That's everything. That is the only thing. There is no other meaning to be put on a person being a parent. They don't necessarily have any more nurturing, any more caring, any more ability to be a better partner than anyone else because they're a parent. So let me know what you think. I know this can be pretty controversial. I was really misunderstanding myself when I was dating single dads, and I really thought that they brought something special to the relationship. But the reality is that whether or not you're a parent, it can vary whether you're nurturing, whether you're caring, whether or not you're a good partner, and choose only by what somebody can offer you as a partner. And if you are willing to fall in love with their children, then that's who you should be dating. But no other reason, no other meaning than that. Let me know what you think here in the comments, and absolutely join my private Facebook group, Daniela's Crazy Sexy Love Crew. We are growing, we are talking, we're
All right, it's enough. All right. Woo. Okay, so yeah, look at Mike. I know Mike was stressed when he heard this. Now, Mike, I can see you're stressed listening to that, innit? Without cursing the whole of earth, just let us know what your thoughts were in terms of that particular video.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you good.
Up.
You're good.
Oh,
we can
see you, Kenny. Everybody else is freezing up.
They're moving. Trust me.
Y'all back? Is it my
We back. It might be you, cuz now they're playing you.
We good?
Yeah, we good. Go for it, Cap.
Okay, we back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
bro. Okay, let me say that. I was just trying to suffocate myself with them shorts. I'm sorry. The lady, it's just simple. Let me just simplify this. We 40 and we 30 and 40 and up. Everybody got kids. Ain't nobody at the park shopping for no. I mean, I don't got no kids, but I'm just saying. I'm 40 years old. I'm not at no park shopping for some woman because she gonna be more of a nurturing person because she got children. I'm 40. If I'm dating, more than likely 90% of the time she gonna have some damn kids, and it's that simple. And if you date somebody with kids, you gotta understand. The kids ain't staying in no damn Airbnb when they come to visit. Okay? Just all the family is one. It's one. We're one. I was a single. I'm the child of a single parent. You know what I'm saying? So my mother told me when I was little, she said, baby, whoever date mama, dating you. Or mama ain't gonna rock with them. So that's just bottom line. I mean, by the way, Ashley, you was my favorite person on that show.
He actually told me that behind stage. He ain't lying. He told me that behind stage.
Me and my sister love Ashley. We be like, that's our dog. We love Ashley. We be rooting you on, Ashley. Anyway, we grown. That's the simple. That lady, she too far. Well, never mind. She look a little older. It's like, so it's no way that she sit here acting like children is a part of this life. It's this life. I mean, we were all children at one point. So if I meet a woman, I'm attracted, I like this woman, I'm feeling her, and she don't have kids or she do have kids, the kids are going to be a part of her regardless. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay. Let me go to someone who's younger, because obviously it depends on the age range. Actually, no, actually, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you, Ashley. I'm gonna go to Kenny first. Kenny, talk to us.
Okay, I don't disagree. Okay, let's start with the video. Honestly, that was such a convoluted way of saying date people for their character, not for how many kids they have. Like, come on. I had to go make some tea halfway through it. I was like waiting for the gem to drop, and I was like, oh, all right, that's it. Cool, great. Sorry. But in terms of kids, I don't disagree with what Mike says. But demographics also has something to do with it. Yes, we're all in our 30s, 40s, and up. But I feel like, when within a certain age, you still have a shot of dating someone who doesn't have kids. Whether you want to have kids like with this person new as a family, or if you don't want to have kids at all, right? Like if you're in your mid-30s, you could still find someone who is a year or two younger than you who doesn't have kids. You know, it's not a given. Kids are not a deal breaker, but I feel like if you don't have, especially as a woman, if you don't have kids, it's advantageous to you to date someone else who doesn't. But if you do, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the person's character. If they do have kids and you don't mind and you love them, great. But just from a fiscal perspective, like financially, you want all that money in your house.
I get you.
Just saying.
I hear you. Ashley, go for it. Talk to us. I see you as animated, girl. Talk to us, Ash. Oh, sorry, I muted you. My bad. Go for it, Ash. Yep.
Actually, I was just being funny because you said you were going to the younger ones, and I'm like, okay.
But girl, we know you're young.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty.
Anyway. I agree. I agree with everybody. Like, it's like, seriously, I'm not looking for somebody that has a child because I feel like they're going to exhibit all these deep characteristics and know how to be nurturers as a man. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. I'm looking, I mean, if you realistically, like you said, at this age, you're going to find you're more likely to find somebody that has a child. And you just have to have that capability to be able to love that person and their child or their children, period, point blank. And I 100% agree. They should not be getting an Airbnb. Okay? Pew, pew, Mike. I like the shade, but I agree with you.
Lola, hit us with saying. I appreciate Ash. Oh, sorry, I muted you as well. My bad. Go for it. Sorry, Lola, go again.
Can you? So, I think everybody knows this. If you're dating and you have some sense, you know that, yes, if you meet someone that has children, that's something that you need to consider. But that shouldn't be something that will stop you. Now, if you're a gentleman or a female who knows that you don't want or you don't have the capacity to love a child, then maybe stay away from someone who does have children, because it's a package deal. You meet someone you like. If you truly like or love this person you meet, then that has to extrapolate to their children. There really is another way to put it. That's it, really. But I mean, Ashley, your show, I was a little blown away. But yeah, that didn't make sense. If you meet someone, you know he has a kid after the first or second date. If you know you don't want to be a step parent or participate in that child's life, then you need to exit stage left, not drag it out or say what you want and now make it a situation where the person's now split between the two of you. That doesn't make any sense. And I think in this day and age, people are having children younger and younger. So at this point, it really is the person's character, what they bring to the table and what that connection is. But you also must consider and be aware that you also will be part of that child's life and you need to be ready to do that.
Guess you want to say something? You can unmute yourself.
So, okay. The preference obviously is no kids. And that is tough sometimes, but I think the bigger thing is if they have kids, also knowing what your stipulations are. If you're under a certain age, I'm not doing it. If you've got like 4 and under, to me, that's kind of a too close to baby-ish age. And so since you're not my child, I need you to be in school already. Well, no, I'm just realistic. And I did date someone with children, but they had grown children because we had a little bit of a gap between us. That was perfect. I thought it was amazing. And then lastly, the other stipulation is the relationship with the parent of the child, because I'm not going to be in a toxic back and forth with you and a young lady. And if you guys are not great co-parents who have no glue left with each other on the piece of paper, then 2 pieces and y'all ripped apart, but you still have these feelings. That's something to assess. So when I first meet you, it wouldn't be a no right away. But if I observe that, like, either you disrespect her or she is constantly disrespecting you, then that's a no-no all the way.
Appreciate it, Jess. Rick, you ready to hit me with something, Rick?
I gotta add something right quick.
Oh, go. Actually.
The bad relationship is one thing, but also too good of a relationship is different. Like, I'm not saying you can be cool and stuff, but it gets to the point where like you're like, oh, well, I'm going to spend the night by my baby mama so my baby can see me. That's not about.
That's the question. Is that out of the question?
It's totally out of the question. Are you crazy?
But I thought it was for the kids. I thought everything for the kids.
That's not for the kids. I'm sorry. No way, shape, or form is that for these kids. Okay. I'm just saying, because my thing is, if y'all that comfortable where your child needs to see mom and daddy wake up together for school, for Christmas, for all of that, y'all need to go and make it work. Because if y'all that cool, just go and try to do that thing. Because I'm not about to be having it. Let the baby come over to our house, or let, just whatever. But you're not about to do all of that. So yes, having that where it's like you at each other's throat and a baby mama is crazy. I've dealt with that. It is horrible. So yeah, that would definitely be a factor. But also when it's on the flip and it's the other extreme, that's a problem too, though.
So he or she can't stay over Christmas night. The kids Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, like that can't run, yeah?
Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool? No, it's not. Look, because I'm saying, like, normally what is normally said is a man or whatever, baby mamas, baby daddies, they can always come back and do something, mess around. A lot of women too that I've talked to, and men sometimes, well, not really necessarily men, but women, they wouldn't mind being back with their baby dad, like the father of their child. They wouldn't mind that. And so if they had that opportunity to make their family unit work, they would. So my thing is, a lot of the times the women would do that. Oh, let me come cook for you. Let me do this. Make it seem like a family. And then no, that's the problem. And then I'm sitting at the house by myself on Christmas Eve. You have lost your mind. Go ahead, Rick. Come on, smooth talking, quiet storm.
I don't know. I'm kind of with Mike, but I was listening to her treatise about that, and she made a choice to do that like exclusively. I felt like she should have been laying on somebody's couch, preferably a professional, explaining that whole thing to him, or her, because she made a choice to do that. It's a real subjective thing, and as we can see just in regards to the comments on the panel, it's subjective. It depends on where you are and where you're going and how you see that in your life. Some people, they're cool with it. It's no big deal. Some people, they have a direction they're going in and maybe it doesn't include that. So it's just real subjective, So if you're asking, are you asking from a personal level? Like from my personal level, I would close it. Yeah, personally, I'm not close to it, but for some of the other reasons that some of the other panelists mentioned, those things come into play, and you have to kind of take a look at that while things are going on and decide, if it's the right situation. You know what I mean? Because there can be some bad situations, like the ex and the, baby's kids, it could be a lot of different things in play, where, you just can't deal with it. And maybe you can do that with someone else and their kids, but you can't do it with this person and their kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really subjective.
All right, before anyone else says something, I'm going to play another clip. It's a short one this time, 10 seconds long. So we'll play it short, yeah? Just to give you a nuance to the conversation so that you guys get a little bit something short.
Right, because the kids should come first, right? Logically speaking, that sounds fantastic. Of course, always puts the kids first, but your heart doesn't really feel like that's a great decision, right? Your heart feels like, oh, like I'm not significant and I don't matter, and why are the kids always coming first? And you can't help but feel a little bit of resentment.
Listen, let me be very frank with you guys. Let me be very frank with you. Yeah, I think she's telling the absolute truth. Listen, me personally, I couldn't do dating a single parent. Okay. First of all, I'm too selfish right now. I just can't. I'm not ready to be a parent, because as much as I know someone might say, look, you're not here for the kid. I cannot see how you can date somebody else and not factor in that they are going to become some way a part of that kid's life, right? And I'm not throwing no shade. I wanted to be able to just say it straight. The person has to some way, some shape, somehow be involved in that child's life. But let me open a question to you guys. Is there any factors other than what we've mentioned just now as to why you would or wouldn't date a single parent? Anybody can go for it. Just unmute yourself and go for it. Go for it, Mike. He's going for it.
First of all, Miss Lola, are you Nigerian?
She said yes, she is. Let me unmute her.
I knew it.
He's throwing that game on. Be careful,
yes,
girl.
I am. Oh, you can tell from my name, though. Yeah, you can tell from my name.
But the name, yeah, Lola. But
Hey,
Yeah.
when she break it down, my father's side, they Yoruba, so they be like, you have,
I'm Yoruba too. Your father's side? Your father's Yoruba?
yes. My Yoruba
Okay,
name,
look, Kojo, we're having a connection here. You guys can continue. Yeah. Y'all can keep talking. We're talking right now.
my Yoruba name is Ire Wolede.
Oh my goodness. Listen, we're good now. Look, this is okay.
No,
Kojo, thanks. You know what? Mike,
we
we can
gonna
go
work
into
this
the
out
other
without
chat
this,
room.
baby. I'm be your friend. I'm be your
so
friend.
wait, Edward's out the door now. We see you. Don't think I've forgotten. Edward's out the door now. All right, cool. Carry on, Mike. Go on. You were saying your
I'm
thing.
sorry. So bad kids. If you got
Uh-huh.
bad kids, I don't do bad kids.
Mm.
Like, cause you got. How can I say this? I'm gonna just say it.
Mm-hmm.
If you got them kids act like little white kids in the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
You mean?
No,
I know what you
Mom.
mean. I know what you mean, but you gotta explain that.
Shut up, Mom. Put that down. No, Mom, shut up. All that shit right there. See, I got. I'm, what I'm saying. My mama Angela Doreen Collins. We ain't doing that. You understand me?
Mhm.
So I just have a, I just like a. The last one I dated, she had some very respectful children. She had 2 boys. I love them boys. Like, I had a stronger relationship with them than I did with her. Them was my baby boys, man. Very respectful. Kids gonna be kids. I ain't saying they gotta be perfect, but respectful kids. Like I have to come into a situation where that's already established.
Mm.
Because I don't want to be whooping nobody else's kids.
I hear that.
But I will.
Let me add someone else to the conversation. I'm gonna add Shanae. Shanae's gonna give her a point of view and talk to. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. Shanae's wrong one. Shanae, go for it. I know you're walking through the house, but talk to us, sis. Pretty girl, talk to us, sis. You need to unmute yourself, though, sis. Go for
All
it.
right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Kojo.
No worries, sis.
I am of the persuasion that I would prefer to have children for the first time with someone else who's also having children for their very first time.
Mhm.
But there are those cases where you do meet amazing people, and it's like, do I want to let the children, be the reason why we can't move forward? And in some cases, that may be. And if that's the case, you just got to be real about it. I have a strict rule around not dating men with children so that I don't have to worry about that. But there are some men that I have met that I'm like, he's a really awesome dude. And then when I find out he has kids, it's like, well, how old are they? How many does he have? In how many cities? How many baby mamas? It's like, it's all this, and it's like, bruh, I could just eliminate all that by dating someone who doesn't have any children. I'm not a fool to believe that I'm the only single Black woman in the world with no kids. God made others, and so I'm just gonna wait for us to connect.
I like that. Anybody want to talk on that? Go for it.
How old are you?
Unmute yourself. Oh,
How old is your name?
I'm 42.
42?
Mike's
Yes, sir.
sizing you up.
No, I'm just trying
Do you like younger?
I'm asking because I'm like,
I'm being bad.
42. I mean, hey, I think that I respect. There's certain things I'm like, hey, I'm just waiting on certain things. But at 42, to find a brother, a straight man, you live in Atlanta. It's just hard, man. To find. I'm one of them. You know what I mean? But I'm a unicorn. Ain't many of us out there. Ain't many of us out there that protected ourselves and came about that thing. It ain't many of us out there at 42.
I would argue with
it,
that point, Michael, and say that maybe not where you're from. But I'm in California, and I've been to a few other places, and you're not as unicorn as you might think.
Oh, okay. This is a nuanced conversation.
California, them brothers they don't admire our Black sisters like they're supposed to out there. See, I travel a lot now.
So do I.
Okay, so in California, I'm saying,
okay,
you are a beautiful Black woman. Let me first say that, Queen.
Thank you.
You are. All the beautiful Black features that, what I'm saying, I just love. Amen, Lord, amen. But in Cali, what part of Cali you in?
Northern California. We on the internet. We don't give out where we from. We just talked about that on
Northern California. You know them brothers in Northern California. You know them brothers in Northern California think it's an upgrade when the woman is foreign and all that. Come on now. Preach to me. Am I lying?
I don't think that you're 100% true. I'm not saying that there's not a faction of some that believe that, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I've moved now to Northern California, and I can say there is a line of delineation with respect to African American men, especially. But see, I'm also of the persuasion. I love us for real, but I also love good people for real too. So if it just so happens that God wants to send my package with a little less melanin, I'm not opposed to that.
Ooh.
And I'm also not going to just exclusively say, well, he has to be this and he has to be that, right? Because I feel like there's a shortage, or what I'm looking for isn't out here. I've traveled to the East Coast, traveled to the South, and there are some really great, amazing men, even international, that are single, that are older than me and do not have children yet. And here's something else I'll say. I'm not saying that if you have a child that's a diss against you. Please don't take it that way, men that may have children. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking for Shanae. I can only tell you for me personally.
Yeah,
That's it.
I wasn't challenging your preference, Queen. I'm playing a little devil's advocate. That's all.
Yeah, we know what you do, Mike.
I'm just trying to stir you up a little bit. She's like, first of all, I travel too, Mike. Don't play.
Well, I just wanted you to know. You're not the only one
no
out
smoke,
here.
baby. Goddamn, I'm just trying to ask questions. First of all,
if y'all gonna flirt, y'all gonna have to flirt in your own time, okay? If you're gonna flirt, you're gonna flirt in your own time, sis. Okay,
I'm
guy.
not flirting. I'm not
Brace
flirting.
your hand from your brow. Like, hold on, now just asking a question.
We're just chatting. We all grown, right?
I hear that. But that's a rule. But what you guys have just spoke about is a very real thing, which is that obviously, Shanae, you're saying that you want a man without potential. Your preference is without kids, and from another angle, someone might say, well, how possible is that? And this is obviously the conversation that normally happens, which is around: do I wait? Do I not wait? Do I go out and choose someone who has got kids? Do I settle for that? So there's a nuance of conversation here, which is that, depending on where you're from, what you've experienced, what you're willing to settle down with or not settle down with, this is going to impact the choices you're going to make when it comes to the dating scene. So I don't know if anyone else wants to chime in, because there was a very good conversation that Shanae and Mike were having. Anybody else want to have an opinion on what they were saying?
I do.
Oh, sorry.
I do. So you know what I think? I think and I have a sense of Shanae. We've met a couple times now. I feel that whoever she meets and wherever he is from, if he's that person for her, I believe if he has kids or not, that connection will be there, and you'll feel it in your spirit. Because I don't think that will stop you from being with the man you're meant to be with. And I think likewise with a male, meeting because a lot of males who don't have children may not necessarily want to meet someone with kids, but if they meet that woman that's worth it, they'll do it. Yep. Period. Yep. And I think it's just that connection, really. So Shanae, if he comes with, two little, well, they won't be babies, Shanae. I'm not gonna put that in the atmosphere. But however he comes, and it's him, you'll do what you need to do. That's
I 100% agree with that. You hit it on the nose when you said if it's worth it. See, if it's worth it, then we can become a very flexible and very open to ideas and concepts. Because if I'm loving on him like that, then I know I have to extend that love to his children as well. Precisely. And if I'm in the position to be someone's bonus mom, I really want to be a bonus mom. I don't want to just be like, well, I'm digging him, but I can't stand his kids.
That don't make any sense. That won't happen.
That doesn't work.
Just walk away. If you know you can't do that, walk away. But exactly. I feel I know you, and you're the kind of person, when it's him, you're going to do whatever you need to do, and it's going to work.
You're absolutely correct, Lola. Thank you. Should I make the check payable to Lola?
Let me get my cut while you're there.
I'm about to call my boys. I'm about to call my partners in North California. We got the phone. Say, hey man, listen, man, y'all got y'all little goddess out there, and they got kids. They coming. One of them got 10 kids. He coming straight. He coming straight for you with 10 of them. I
said 10 of them. Well, that isn't okay. So that's the point. Let me piggyback off that. Is there a number, a limit? I mean, is there a number for guys or ladies? Is there a number that you're saying, that's too much?
Yeah.
There's a number.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, someone talk to me. Okay, everybody give me that answer. What is your number?
Number would definitely be, first of all, I don't want any, but exactly, it's 2. And the only reason it's 2 is because I've dated someone with 2 before, boy, girl, right? 2 would absolutely be, but you guys already heard my age cutoff. And I think now it has to be at a place where I was used to the grown adult children, but I'm sure that's not going to be something that I continually deal with because I'm scaling back. I remember I told you more 50 and up. I'm coming down. I'm bringing it back on down. So Same age. I've never dated younger, but I'm a little open to it now that I'm in my 30s because they're not going to be like toddlers anymore. So, but 2 is the max. That's it. 2. No, it can't be anymore.
Appreciate it, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ken, you want to add? What are you saying, Ken? Can you look model Lester out there? Talk to us.
Oh, thank you. No, I was kind of gonna piggyback off Sinead, Mike, and
Okay,
Lola.
go for it.
Conversation going on there. I think your perception of your dating pool and your options dictates your standards, right? I think Mike was kind of coming at Sinead from the, if you date maybe exclusively a particular community, African American community here, maybe that drives, what you think your standards are. And Sinead came with a rebuttal of, no, my pool is really wide. And so I mean, I'm with Sinead in terms of pool being super wide. So I veer on the side of, yeah, the chances of you finding someone who doesn't have any kids at all are higher, right? I'm also Nigerian, and our community, finding a man without kids that's single, very high, because that's just generally how the culture is set up. So I would say in terms of what's my max, it will be 0. But
I'm with you, girl.
I'm just being honest. For right now, for where I am right now, I think I'm too young. I'm too young to take on that ready-made responsibility. I want to stumble around like a baby giraffe, learning to walk with my husband, figuring it out. And then I want us to have kids and be looking at this little baby like, what does it do together? The whole 9 yards. I definitely think my decision is demographic based, obviously. Okay. So, the higher up, maybe I would have a reconsideration. But I'm also open to dating younger than I am. So not much younger right now. But like if I was in my late 30s, for instance, I'd be fine dating someone in his mid 30s. So once again, the pool is really wide, right? I'm not limiting myself to any one construct. So
I guess that's my issue.
We are deep sea diving in the pool, honey.
Hey, listen, I guess that's why I guess my issue is I keep that thing chocolate, melon.
Okay.
Maybe that's my issue.
All right.
I mean, that's our issue. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I can't step outside.
I can't either. That's our issue.
I can't do it, baby.
I used to be that way as well, and then I had a lot of. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley. Go ahead.
Oh, Ashley, wait, hold on. You're gone.
No, I was like, that's my issue too. Is that I'm so pale. Like I need some melanin. I don't want that pale.
Girl, you like chocolate. Girl, you chocolate. I ain't playing with you.
I am chocolate. I'm light chocolate, but I'm saying I don't want to see nothing lighter than me, and everything that's lighter than me is only white. So no.
That's why Karma's got a chance. So obviously, sorry, who was going to say something? Was it Lola? Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, I think another consideration too would not just be, because I'm okay with someone with kids. I have 2 kids, but I think it's a number of baby mothers, because nobody wants to get involved in that kind of palaver, because I hear it can be ugly. I haven't experienced it and I don't want to. So I think for me, a determining factor be, because that will also tell me who he is. Like, how is he going around laying seeds everywhere? That's something to think of. So,
you're raw dogging.
See, for me, it's the number of baby mamas. It's the age of the children. It's the relationship with the baby mama. It's the relationship with the children. Like, I don't want to be with this great guy, but he has a horrible relationship with his children or no relationship with his children. Important. Like that for me, deal breaker. Like I can't. And I don't want to hear all the, it's my baby mama, she be tripping. Nah, y'all both came together. And y'all have to figure this out. And I'm not now about to add myself to this mix of, chaos and expect it to be rainbows and lollipops. So it's a lot of things to factor in there with regard to someone with children. And even as we're having this conversation, I'm like, so see, that's why when you've just chosen to only date dudes that don't have kids, it was so much easier. It just was. Like, I'm not, I mean, and if that's a bad thing to say, I don't know. But I mean, when you're when you're dating and trying to get to know people, I don't necessarily want to go into it like off rip, we in the battle. Like, okay, it's me, my baby mama, my kids, you, and it's like, bruh, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to chill with you, King. Like, what? I gotta come in already, masked up, ready to fight. Like, I don't really want to do. Like, I'm at a real peaceful place in life, and I want to keep it that way. So I will have to consider if I have the energy and the capacity to lend to what he's bringing to the table.
If the Lord sends you a package, He'll prepare you for it, Shanae.
And I believe that, Lola, because you know what, the Lord is good. The one thing about him is he's a good father. He's not gonna send you some stuff where you're gonna be like, now what is this?
Nah,
He's not that type of guy. So
nah, he'll build you up for it. You're good.
I don't know. He just sent me some things like that.
Are you sure he sent them, Mike?
Yeah, he sent it. God let everything happen. He didn't send us all some things. We said, Lord, what is this? He said, my child, there you go. Figure it out.
I'm just actually happy to see everybody smiling. I was on the phone looking for a safe house for Mike a minute ago. Behind the smoke that was about to come his way. I was like, let me call witness protection. Mike looking, oh my God. But I'm glad it came back to this. Everybody smiling.
Nah, he good.
Well, nobody gonna do nothing to Mike or you either.
Look, Rick, I'm about to make my page like Rick. I'm about to have y'all looking like this because I'm scared. I'm scared, Rick. Help me out, brother.
I've watched a few of these. It gets real. You know, said somebody talking about that they went on there and did the background search. I was like, oh my gosh. And Columbo, that guy, like,
you
really
won't
nice.
go there. You won't
You
go
know
there.
what you're dealing with.
I love these.
Talk to us, Rick. What's your opinion on this thing then? What's your opinion? Talk to us.
What, as far as the number of children, or as far as what?
All right, number of children first. Yeah. What's your max?
I don't know. In the median, probably 2.
Okay.
I'm probably somewhere in there.
Okay.
You know, but again, like, that's real subjective. You know, it depends on who and what you're dealing with, and you know, a lot of people are solidified. But I say that it really depends on who you meet, what their children are like. I mean, you could change your mind. You can really never probably say that. You know, it just depends on who you encounter. You know.
Okay. No, I reckon that.
That's true.
Guys, I'm gonna take you to a video. It's 10 seconds long again to ignite the conversation. Yes, there's a question that's gonna come from it. You guys saying you want to date these things. I want to make sure you're going into what you know what you're going into. You need to know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Let me hit you a little sign. 10 seconds run.
One of the hardest things was when I actually started dating him and realized.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Never felt resentful toward my stepdaughter, but I felt jealousy toward her. And I think it's kind of natural to have to share time even with somebody. When you're in a relationship with somebody who's single, you don't have to share that time.
There's so many hard parts about dating a divorced parent.
I had a lot of emotions. I was really insecure. I found myself comparing myself to his first wife.
Listen, so how y'all feel about what she just said there? She said she was jealous of the stepdaughter, because I want to make sure you guys know what you're getting into. This isn't just I'm going to become a stepdad or stepmom. You understand? You're encountering a whole property. So talk to me. What's your thoughts?
Show. I think it's about her, and that's just what it is. And you know, in that dynamic, that was incredible. That statement.
Do you agree? Do you agree that it's all about the kid, and then the kid comes first, and you got to kind of.
I mean, you had two different statements there. I'm talking about the jealousy aspect. You know,
okay.
You know, for her to say that she was jealous of the child, you know, that can be a really bad dynamic going on right there.
Good for you. I see you, Mike. You're huffing and puff. Go, bro.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Mike. I still got witness protection on the other line. I'm trying to see how things turn out.
I'm trying to think of my words. Let me see. I think I'm trying to just. Well, you know what? Honestly, I've never had that, like, been jealous of a child. I think it's just two different. We had two different. I want to say, I can't think of the word. I'll just say genres of the relationship. This woman, like, it's two different dynamics, you know. I've never been jealous of a woman's child, so I can't really relate to her being that way. I've never compared myself to somebody's ex, because I just feel like he was great in his, you know, how he was great in his way. It was the reason why she was with him, even though it didn't work out. You know, he was great in his own route, right, and I'm great in mine. So I I don't know. I don't really resonate with that.
Mm.
I did have this one dude that he made $21.7 million a year. I was kind of like, damn, I need to get a raise or something because, you know, I was trying to take her place and she like, I've been there. I'm like, shh. I couldn't take it no damn way. I'm like, shit, we better go, you know, I'll name a restaurant. She's like, yeah, we went to the one in Bahu Hahi. You know, you just like, God damn. I'm trying to take it to the west side. She ain't, but other than that, but no, I've never, I don't know, man. I think that's when you have inner validation, you don't have those issues.
Mm.
You know, inner validation is our true happiness. It's not a think you better than anybody else. Just being, you know, just being happy with how God made you, whatever your flaws is and everything else, and just know you're great in that, regardless of what it is, and you won't be jealous of a person's children or a situation that they, you know, of a time that they had with somebody else. You won't be jealous of that. You just work on what y'all got.
Mm.
I
Anybody else
agree,
want to
and I
add?
also think too, not not the jealousy part, but I can see how sometimes, um, even like me dating Hollywood, like he has a daughter, and you know,
Mm.
coming into something like that, especially when they're younger, it's not a jealousy like on my end, but you could see where sometimes the child, especially because it's a daughter, it was kind of like
Mm.
I could see where she might feel it's a little bit of competition, like where she once was the only one that daddy was like touching or
Tentative.
rubbing on or
Mm-hmm.
attentive to. Now you're seeing another woman doing it, and as a daughter, you looking, you know, I'm thinking like your dad is the first guy you look up to like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I could see where it's kind of not even like a jealousy on my part or even on her part. It's just kind of like a little mini competition. Like, oh, let me do this to get his attention, get that affection, because it's always been about me because he's not with my mom. It's always just been me and him. You know, so I could see that too. And then even with something like that, you know, to kind of include her and to not make her feel like, oh, you're just on the side. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm dating you, you have a daughter, then that's just what it is. And then we would get our time as well. So, you know, yeah, I can definitely see how some people might feel funny, but you're right. If you have that inner validation for yourself, you don't need to compete with a child because we're in two different lanes. I will never be your daughter, and she will never be your woman. So that for me, that's why I'm just like, it's totally two separate lanes, and that's how I had to look at it. My issue again with that would be with the baby mama because she would do stuff like that. Like, no, you never, don't ever have Ashley around. It needs to be you and your daughter, you know. And he would say, no, well, if I'm looking at her to be my wife, no, she needs to, and she's important to me. They need to coexist. So,
Absolutely.
Real
Absolutely.
spit. Go on, Shanae. You're saying prayers. Go on, go.
I was just agreeing with
Go on.
agreeing with Ashley.
Okay. Okay. All right. I mean, I get. I actually got the woman's point. I understood it because it's about attention, isn't it? It's not necessarily that she's probably jealous of the actual child, but more of a case of the fact that time, energy is split. And I put that video there because I wanted people to understand this is not a simple case of I'm coming to date you and that's it. Someone's got a child. You must understand you are not the top priority. You're not. You know what I'm saying? And how many people can handle that? Like, if you're not aware of that when you're going into it because you assume that you're going to be top priority, you will be quickly educated that you're not top priority. If that person really cares about their child and that child is well taken care of emotionally, physically, you will suddenly realize that you actually aren't the top priority. And so this may not be for everybody. And I think that's the one I want to kind of highlight to everybody. Like, I mean, I can understand it may sound a bit crazy because the girl's saying, you know, I'm jealous of a child, but I got what she was saying. It's attention, it's a time, you know what I mean? It's the finances. Some people haven't even catered into somebody's things, you know, child support out here, and you end up paying child support because now he's got, listen, I don't even go too deep, but y'all know that can happen. You know, in UK it happens. So, you know, you meet someone, now you're together, suddenly he can't pay child support, now you're paying child support. It's like, there's things that you have to consider are real. Lola, go on. You want to hear us something?
Yeah. So, can it happen? Yes, it can. But I think what plays a part in here, both parties, let's say it's the gentleman that has the daughter, he has to be mature enough to be able to make this woman, his woman, comfortable, as well as catering to his daughter. Now, if he doesn't do a good job of that, that's where that thing comes in, and the female herself needs to be mature enough. Because if you have a child coming to a situation, into a relationship with you, another child, then that becomes an issue. So really, it's maturity. So if you're going to go in a relationship with a man, you need to be mature enough to handle that. So both parties have a big part to play.
That's real.
You're right.
It's real. I'm
You're
sorry.
100% right.
Go on, Rick.
No, I was just gonna say just quickly, that clip with the one woman was pretty short, but if I remember correctly, she was mentioning some problems that predated this relationship. Yeah, I mean, even so, her issue is with herself. I mean, then you hear her say some esteem issues, and she was going into these other things. You know what I mean? So that might, I mean, she's putting that on the relationship, but that it sounded to me like she was talking before the relationship. These were things that impacted her. So, you know what I'm saying? She's bringing that into the situation. I don't know if anybody else heard that, but
Anyone else hear that? Sinead, go for it. You can unmute yourself.
you guys, when you watch the clip, didn't you hear her say she feels jealous of the child, but then she's turned back to herself and started talking about the issues that she had personally with insecurity and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And it sounded like that predated this relationship that she got into with this gentleman, with this child. So it sounds like she needs to work on herself.
Inner validation.
You're right, Rick. I didn't hear that part of the video, but you're absolutely
got it queued
correct.
up? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that I didn't see that part of the video, but from what you're explaining, Rick, absolutely. If that was present, then that's absolutely why she was having those issues and why anybody would have those issues. I think too, there may also be some energy that could have been spent around like setting of proper boundaries so that everybody's clear, like mommy, daddy, girlfriend, daughter, son, here's what lanes we all occupy. Here's how this all works together so that no one's confused and no one's unintentionally trying to occupy a space that is not for them. Because I feel like if everybody's clear on what their lane is and what they're to bring to the relationship, then we shouldn't have those type of feelings. But I can tell how if all that is void, and especially like in the child's case, if you leave it up to a child to try to figure out, well, who is this person now? And what about mommy and daddy and all that? It's like, come on, they're going to need some coaching and facilitating of how this is going to work in order for them to be able to understand. And I think too, the point that Ashley brought up as well, in those conversations, you've got to bring in the baby moms and the baby dads, because they're a part of this dynamic as well. And, we really are one big family. And in order for it to work, we have to all be able to communicate, right? And we have to all be able to occupy our respective spaces.
Appreciate that. I think in regards to obviously the conversation, I think it's like you said, I think we've said it from the beginning, it's a preference thing. So whatever you preference, whatever you feel, that is your choice. I guess obviously as we're going through the topic, we're kind of unearthing small things here and there. And obviously as the woman just said herself, she felt a bit jealous, etc. And I think Rick kind of pointed out a little bit as well, that she may have something beforehand that has impacted the relationship going forward. I kind of want to go back to, there was a conversation, and I just want to touch on it because it's relationship stuff. You guys were talking about, because we're all black here, I want to ask this question. What is the barrier to dating outside of our race? I just want to touch, because it was a conversation we just a little bit had there, and I just want to go back to it to open up a little bit. What is the barriers that we're facing here when it comes to that? You know what I mean? Mike has already got the mic off. That means Mike is ready to go. Mike, go for it.
I mean, like you say, man, it all comes down to preference. When it comes, let me turn this thing keep going on. It's preference. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at anybody any type of way for their preference. Just me, I'm never gonna date outside of my race. I just feel like it's like with my, like, I love, let's say for instance, I'm a musician and I want to be a famous musician and I'm trying to be this musician, I'm trying to be it, and I keep getting no's, I keep getting rejected, or I'm an actor, I keep auditioning, I can't get the role. Do I just be like, you know what? I need to try something different? Me personally, that's how I look at black women. I don't care if I date 7 million black women that ain't the one. It's gonna be the 7 million and one, if that's a word. Or I'm just gonna, I'm happy. I'm happy whether I'm dating or not. I'm not one of those people that's like looking for happiness. I'm already happy. Any woman that I date is an addition to my happiness. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm not searching. That's why I stopped doing, you my man, I'm on here rocking with you. I stopped doing those. I was doing a lot of dating panels, making some money doing it. I stopped because I was like, I don't want people to think I'm this person that's like looking for love. And no, I already have love. I'm already happy with who I am. I'm a Pisces. I'm good by myself. I can talk to myself. I'm good. So any woman I date outside of me is coming into a situation of a happy person, and she need to be happy as well. So I'm not in desperation mode of I got to find somebody, but whoever it's going to be, it's going to be a black woman. I ain't giving up on my acting career. I'm going to be trying to act till I die. I've been trying to marry a black woman till I die. I can't do no white woman. I can't, because no other woman can understand. She can't understand certain things about me, And I know the media likes to put us against each other all the time. It's like I constantly see people online like, these black men need to do this, and man, these black women this. It's just ridiculous that we fall for that bullshit. Excuse my language, but that bullshit. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if I'm gonna die for a woman, it's gonna be a black woman I die for. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna get out here, if I'm gonna make my $100 million, I'm gonna do like LeBron James. I'm gonna split it with a black woman because that's who took care of me my whole life. My black woman raised me. My mamas, my aunties, when I was when I wasn't living in this big ass condo, when I was living with a woman because I ain't have shit. It was a black woman who was dating my broke ass, and her mama, and it was like, he ain't gonna be nothing. He ain't never gonna make it. And she would let me stay in her house and to sell my little CDs, and everybody wanted to buy them damn CDs. It was a black woman. So for me to make it, and now all of a sudden, I'm just whoever makes me happy. No, fuck all that. It's gonna be a black woman, period, point blank. And that's it.
I hear that. Let me hear from the ladies. Ladies, what y'all saying? Like, because it's a bit different for you ladies than it is for the guys. So talk to us. Actually, you pressing that button. Go for it.
Who wants to go first?
Who pressed first?
It ain't different, but continue.
Who wants to go?
All right. So just quickly, two things. My thing, personally, I call myself an equal opportunity employer, so I don't mind. Growing up in England, it wasn't a new thing. But I love what Mike said, because that is my issue when I see two cultures come together. Most of the things I see when I do see them, I see these brothers who are well-to-do, they're finally doing great, and then they go somewhere else. So now we have a family unit that doesn't include a sister, and that's where I might have issue. Now, if you're usually, before they get there, they're all with us, and then all of a sudden, they've got that big contract, that big this, that big that, and all of a sudden, there's something else they have a preference for. Otherwise, equal opportunity all the way, definitely. But it's just, it may not be that way technically, but what we see in the media outside is just that. We always see these well-to-do brothers who are great human beings, great people, but with somebody else. And that begins to make you wonder, are we not appreciated? And we see that in big cities too. Like I'm in New York right now. I usually live in Atlanta. I didn't notice that too much in Atlanta, but here in New York, I do see an unconscious preference sometimes for other cultures. And that's just the way it is.
Okay. Ash, you were gonna go? And then Kemi?
I agree with the, Black people. I just love my people. And I feel like it's easier when you're with your people. Certain things you don't have to discuss, certain things you don't have to break down, or don't have to feel like I have to tell you about the disparity between races, cultures, stuff like that. We don't have to have that conversation. You can understand my plight and I can understand yours. And also, I'm going to be a little superficial, but it's just certain things that I love about my Black man. Okay? I don't have to spell it out. Mike's like, yeah. I'm just saying, it's just certain things. And, I haven't explored anybody else, and maybe that's being, a little, I'm just saying from what I heard that, brothers are a little more, y'all know what I'm saying. I ain't got to say it out. We grown. Y'all looking at me like, what? No.
What you mean, sis?
You know what I'm talking about.
Mike, you know what she talking about, Mike?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's saying brothers is just We
Something
just
about us.
spiritual.
Yeah.
We very spiritual.
There's something about us the way we flow.
I'm just saying, and I just like the swagginess. Like
I
our people
understand.
have so much flavor, and just so much
Yeah.
culture, just so much swag, and it's just no, it's just inherent, it's just in us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I love that about our people. We can go from one end of the spectrum to the other, and I just love it. We just have so much flavor, and that's just something that I love about us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cultures don't, but yeah, mainly for the other reason. So let me
I love that.
eat it.
Love that. Kenny, you had your finger on the buzzer earlier on. Go for it, Ken. Give us yours and then I'll
Yeah.
get Jess on.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, much love to Mike and his position. Appreciate that standpoint. Black women could always use an extra supporter
She's
in
already
our corner.
ducking out. She's already
However,
ducking out. She said, I'm so she was like, yeah, thank Mike for that. Appreciate that, supporting that. But I'm really
no,
I'm gonna be a white man.
Go ahead, sis. Go off, sis.
Go on, sis.
no. Oh God.
She broke it nicely.
No, I did not mean for it to sound like that. My bad.
We love you,
I
Kenny.
didn't
Don't
mean
worry.
no.
Okay.
I didn't mean it. It's not condescending. It's not condescending. No, I just wanted to give you a
It's all right,
problem,
Kenny,
but
don't
I don't
worry,
want to
we're
be
joking.
long-winded.
Go,
That's
sis.
why I just no. But I
Yeah.
mean, playing devil's advocate, which you do, Mike. Playing devil's
I
advocate,
agree.
it works. The numbers work in your favor, though, right? What would you gain jumping to the other pond and trying to compete for white women with everyone else is competing for white women over there, right? I'm not saying that this is the reason why you're, pro-black. We're amazing. We're awesome. We deserve all the props that comes to us. But I'm saying, like, it's kind
Game is
of
rigged.
almost a no-brainer, right?
No, it's not true.
Supply and
Go ahead.
demand. Just saying.
It's not. Go look at this ain't the 80s. Go on Google right now and look at the numbers. This ain't 1960. It's not true. But
It's not true that there are more black women to the ratio of black women to black men.
no,
is
it's
more
not.
black
Go on
women
Google and look
to-
it up. It's not true.
Okay.
We'll have to
All
Google
right.
it. This after the
My
competition.
stats beg to differ, but I believe it's like over 5-1. But by the time you take jail, sexual orientation, like but I don't want to.
No, it's cool. So it's going.
I don't want to go on a tangent. What I did want to say is I think what also it kind of goes to the original my last point about when your criteria is a lot more diverse, your standards respond accordingly. I think what also plays into this, at least for me, being an equal opportunity dater, is what I am looking for in a person, and how important all these characteristics or factors are. Is race more important than financial stability? Is culture more important than religion? Like all those levers, all those points that you pull, that dictates if you're going to stay, all black, or if you're going to open yourself up to a more diverse pool. I will say for me, I'm a dark-skinned black woman. So in terms of social hierarchy, close to the bottom of the totem pole, right? So for me, I want to go where I'm celebrated, right? I want to go wherever who sees value in me. That's where I want to go. I see value in myself, and I want to go where it's reciprocated. If that happens to be with a black man, great. And he has all the other things that are important to me criteria-wise, great. If it happens to be somewhere else, great. But everything about me as a dark-skinned black woman is so political. You just want a place where you could just be and rest. And you can not find rest with a black man. Once again,
I agree.
Hierarchy, right? You still have patriarchy. Even though it is a black man, you still have patriarchy, right? I just want to go home to my man, whatever he looks like, and just rest. And I don't want it to be a rest that comes from we see the tragedy in each other only. We should also see the hope in each other, right? I could sit here and say all men are trash. I'm not trying to date all men. I'm just trying to date one. I could sit here and say all white men are trash. I'm not trying to date the whole race. I'm just trying to find the one. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like whether we say black, white, whatever it is, there is problems with whole demographics. We are not trying to date or marry a whole demographic. You're looking for just one. I know it's not the popular opinion, but maybe also the fact that culturally I'm Nigerian, so maybe that also plays into it. But yeah.
Okay. Jess was going to say something. Go on, Jess.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kenny, I agree so much with what you said, because the part that resonated the most was just I want to come home and rest. and my rest doesn't have to be our trauma bond. It doesn't have to be, I want a place where I can just be soft and pink and womanly at home. And your character is going to hold all of that. Your character and integrity supersedes your race. Because I don't go home and get to do life with your skin tone. Yes, I've been able to, date majority Black guys. And to be quite honest, I've never dated a white guy. I've dated outside of my race, another culture, but not specifically if we're talking white, Black. And I have found that in the corporate settings that I find myself in at times, white guys will be more friendly to me. That is just what I have found. It also just so happens where I work, there aren't a lot of them, right? And even in the different locations I might go forward, they're not there. Now, when I'm doing other parts of career stuff and I'm in another city and doing my more, I guess, my creative side, because I'm entrepreneur and 9 to 5, so I do both. But when I'm in that world, then I'm more in the more ethnic group, right? But what I have found is that sometimes I love my brothers, I do love y'all, but a lot of times, and let's say specifically white in the working setting, they come up and talk to me. I may not like them, but I appreciate the, hey, how you doing today? How are you? Asking me questions and actually getting involved. And it may just be, like I said, like we're the same with you. It's not because I don't want y'all there. You're just not there where I happen to be a lot of my hours of the day. So then when I think about it, I had to get myself out of growing up in a certain neighborhood demographic of I only like Black men. Why? Why do you only like Black people? Your parents raised you to like people with integrity, good people. So I had to break out of that. Now, if I'm being honest, yes, my preference is a Black man, but I am not closed off to dating another culture just because, your character is what's most attractive to me. And you have fine features in all cultures, okay? Because when you've been out this country a couple times and in different states, you see people. And there's some lovely, lovely, beautiful men of all cultures.
Okay, hey, this.
I agree. There's lovely, beautiful people of all cultures, lovely, beautiful women of all cultures. White women are very nice to me, especially now. But white women love me. Let's be clear. White women love me. When I go to the gym, they come up to me more than Black women. White women, hey, they do. Let's be clear. Becky loved Mike. And the biggest misconception we have is I hear sisters, not all, a lot of sisters, it's almost like y'all have no idea. I have no idea what it's like to be a Black woman. Y'all have no idea what it's like being a Black man. You think you at the bottom of the hierarchy? A white man can sleep with you. You can't challenge him like when I walk in the room, I am a threat to him. When you come in there with that chocolate and that big black hair, girl, he don't see a threat. You think you at the bottom of the hierarchy? You have no idea what it's like being a Black man in this country. You have no idea that modern slavery is in prison. It's prison. Prison is modern slavery. Look it up. And they're not going after Black women. Well, know why? Because you're not a threat to them, because they can make children with you and they can be with you and all that other. But with me, with my masculine energy, we call it now toxic masculinity, whatever we calling it now, I'm a threat to them. I'm opposite of them. So y'all have no idea what it's like being a Black man. We don't have a voice. The Black Lives Matter movement is 3 women that like women. Go to their website and look at what their mission is. It ain't got nothing to do with protecting no Black man.
You ain't lying about that.
Stop acting like this just one side, like, oh my God. You know how many Black women use me they're trying to use me? How many Black women, if I look online, is twerking and this is the perception of Black women and this and that. That's the perception of Black women. I don't let that fog up my reality of what a Black woman really is. I know. A Black woman is the queen, regardless of what social media, Instagram, media is the new form of God, false God, that people follow and believe. I don't believe that. You ain't at the bottom of the hierarchy. You want the Black man at the bottom. We don't have a voice. Every time we say something, it's masculine, toxic masculine energy. Have you ever heard somebody say toxic feminine energy? Have you ever heard somebody say toxic homosexuality? No, you have not. Because it's an attack on black men. So let's stop acting like we live in this world where we just black men got our picking and we can just walk around and it's just all good for us. But then when it comes to black women, y'all just the victims. And, you know, no, it's a bunch of beautiful, nice, sweet white women out there that love me, that could walk into that beautiful situation financially. That was born into money. I don't know no black billionaire. I know some black billionaire white women personally. But I'm not looking at okay, the grass is greener. At the end of the day, there's beautiful people of all spectrums and races, but ain't none like mine. Period. Nothing like mine. Ain't no woman in this world, I don't give a damn how nice she is, gonna understand me like a black woman. I'll lose my life for a black woman, even the ones that don't believe this. The ones that's like, oh, you know, the ones that think it's gonna be whatever. That's who I would die for. And I mean that literally because I fought. I am a war veteran that fought for this country, took life for this country, for a bunch of people who don't look like me, for a bunch of people who don't goddamn respect me or care about me as a black person, black man. And from this point forward, I reserve that, my life on the line for only black women, but my people.
Can I say something to
Go
that?
for it, Ken. I like this. This is good. It's we're getting different perspectives. This is how we get somewhere. Come on, talk to us, sis.
So, these conversations always end up getting very defensive, right?
Okay.
And I just want to make my
I can't hear nothing.
Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me, Mike?
I hear you now, Queen.
All right. I don't want anyone to get defensive about any like opinions here, period. Because generally when we have these conversations, right, like the folks who've been on this panel before, generally like it's good energy, right? Mm-hmm. So when I started off with how I, phrase things and it did come off a bit condescending, I apologize for that, but that definitely wasn't my intention, right? Okay. I'm not trying to look at your opinion and say, it's invalid for whatever reason. Also, when I do talk about being a dark-skinned woman and being perceived, because I'm seeing the comments and folks are saying, I'm not at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm not saying dark-skinned black women are on the bottom of the totem pole. I'm saying the perception, social hierarchy-wise, especially within the black community. And if you want to disagree with that, to those in the comments, cool, great. But that's just generally social perspective, right? Yeah. When I say that, I don't say that to have oppression Olympics with the black man, right? I'm not saying that to say black men don't have struggles. I'm not saying that to invalidate anyone else's experience. One doesn't negate the other. Both can be true. Both are true at the same time. Black men kill disproportionately than any other race, including women, right? The system is set up, to sabotage black men. But at the same time, black women, it's a community struggle, right? So I just want to make sure that that's clear. Like when I come into these conversations and just bring in my point, it's not to negate or invalidate anyone else. I'm not going to, my response right now is not a rebuttal. It's just to clarify. That's right. Your perspective is valid, right? Mike, like if you 100% ride die black women, like I said, it's amazing. I think it's great. We deserve that. I didn't say thank you because, you're doing us a favor. We deserve that. And also it's, a testament to how you vet character, because we're great. But I don't want it to be perceived as I'm saying we have it hard and you don't get it. That's not my perspective. I think black men and women are treated unfairly in society, and I'm not doing oppression Olympics with it.
Okay. So let me add to that. I think both of you are saying some very key things, and I think you're absolutely right. This can become a very defensive conversation, but I like that the fact that we're able to disagree, because there's a necessity for, in terms of to get a holistic conversation, people need to get their points out, and that doesn't mean we're always going to agree, right? And so what I'm hearing from both sides, and I agree with Mike too. He has a preference and he wants to date black. I think what I'm hearing from Mike is that he felt like, listen, I'm not dating black because I don't have other options. And I think this is what sometimes we as black men can hear. Sometimes we can hear like, well, you're only dating black women because it's like you've got option. No, we dating black because we love black. That's it. And I also hear the woman's side, which is also, I agree. Socially, as much as black men, we are at the bottom. We're not at the bottom. Let me be very frank with you and very, very honest with you. We are not. In the actual social hierarchy, black women rank the bottom. And the reason why is because of what we face, right? So if we take it that way, black people are, let's say, we're talking about social hierarchy. That's what we're talking about, right? Black people will be at the bottom. The black male is actually above the black woman, right? Simply because he's a male. That gives us leverage. Right. So in the interaction between women and men, when they're black, men have some type of leverage over black women socially. That's a given. That there is that for me is a fact. It's written in this. It's written in concrete. Right. So what I'm hearing from Kenny at the same time is that you know, I saw her point. I didn't agree with it, but I saw her point about the fact that obviously, Mike, you have options. I didn't agree with that part, because I felt like it did slightly invalidate the fact that you've made a choice, and you've made a choice consciously knowing that. And let me be frank with you. If we have got that much choice, that makes our choice even more, how do we say, more permanent, because I've got that much choice and I've decided to choose to stick with my black sister. That makes my choice even more hardcore. You know what I mean? Because I've got options, but I've chosen to stay with my people, them, if you want to call it that, right? So I understand both sides. But I want the conversation to continue. I want other voices to increase, because us as men, we need to hear the woman's side of things. We need to hear your point of view. We need to hear your experiences, so we get a holistic understanding. You understand? And I want the women to also hear the men's side, so we get a holistic conversation. So if the ladies can go again, I'm gonna let the men rebuttal. Okay, go on.
I would love to. I would love to. So first of all, listening to you, Mike, it was a pleasure. I really am pleased to hear that, because the truth is we don't hear it as much. Like I said before, we get these images and you get these tones, like you'll hear about, you know, when was his name? It was 50 Cent and what's that one with scraggy hair? Lil Wayne, when they had this discussion of what their preferences were, you see more of that. So to hear you say that, that's reaffirming and it's comforting. And of course, what you said about you being, you know, they see you as a threat. Yes, that's true. But the truth is, with all the females I've been around that are black females, they all have the same message, ready to protect the brothers. So they feel that way. And I feel it's sad that you don't feel that surrounding you, because throughout the whole time when I was here in New York during those demonstrations, everyone was turning to the males around us who are black just to check in and make sure they were okay. So know that you are appreciated. We do feel the need to at least cover you, both in prayers and physically. But to Kenny's point, I see exactly what she's saying. And it's two things. One thing is there is a perception of us not being appreciated, and there's the reality. And it's two things. And it's really hard to explain that, because hearing you say that makes us see that, no, there are people who appreciate for what we are. They appreciate our hair. They appreciate our skin tone. But in the same strength, there are people who give us that energy when they see us outside and really don't even give you a stare to acknowledge that you're a human. So it's like there are two things to it. Now, in terms of choices, when you look at the situation and think that, you know what, there aren't enough people in my dating pool, you'll be thinking and moving with that impression. So there is a need to always believe that what's for you is for you, and it's out there. I think when you're walking with that understanding, then you won't miss what's for you. But the reality of it too is there are people who treat you like you're not worth anything. So it's almost a point where you have to develop your self-confidence and self-esteem to know that you were created beautifully and wonderfully made, and what's for you is for you, and it's out there.
Rick or Mike want to respond to what was said, and then give a.
Can I jump in really quick before Rick or Mike respond?
Go for it. Go on. Yeah, go for it.
You said I could. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I wanted just to add on to the conversation to say that I think that there needs to be a safety in being able to say that you may choose to date, whether it's within your race or outside of your race. I feel like the conversation started to get a little spicy because I mentioned that I have brought as my pool to not just African American men, and that right there is where, for me, I don't know about anyone else, but for me, I felt the wall went up. And typically when I mention that to people, especially if I'm talking to other African Americans, they kind of give me that look like, oh, like she one of them, and I'm like, but what is that supposed to mean? because I can't have a preference. I can't say, well, I prefer to be with a black man, but I'm also not going to turn someone away because their packaging is different. I've been raised to be more concerned about the contents of the package than to be more concerned with the packaging or what it comes wrapped in. It could be, we could be the same skin tone, but if he's not good for me, he's just not good for me. He could be the most amazing man ever. And if he's not got the same skin tone as me, I don't want to be ignorant enough or so close-minded that I could miss out on my blessing. And so I feel like there needs to be more safe spaces built around where more, African Americans can say like, hey, I love my people and I'm down for us. I love us for real. But I also love whomever might come into my life that will absolutely be a blessing to me. And we don't have to share the same level of melanin in order for that to be valid. Two things can exist. You can be a great person for me, and you don't necessarily have to be African American. I used to think that way, Mike. I was like you, like sold out. You was never gonna get me. I'm not. Nope. Don't do it. Don't come over here. I don't want no pink booties. None of that. I'm all black all day. Blackity black, black, and black and the black, blacky and black. And then my aunt started marrying men that weren't black. And so now our family dynamic began to shift, and holidays is being spent around an Italian, a Mexican man, a man from Ireland. And now I'm forced to have to get to know the character of a man and not just close him off because he's white or because he's not black. And then when I've seen these men love my aunties, love me, love my auntie's children that aren't theirs, love my grandmother, love my grandfather, and really be an uncle to me, it really opened my eyes. And I started to say, you know what, Shanae, you might have to start looking at not just African-American men, because there's some great men out here and you're missing it because they're not wrapped in the packaging that you like. And so when I said that earlier, that I have opened up my pool, it really is because of that, y'all. It's because God has really transformed me to the place where he's let me see, daughter, you'll miss it if it doesn't come wrapped the way you like it. But please know that I'm God and I put what's in a man. I made what that man is. And just because y'all don't have the same skin tone, you shouldn't close your eyes to that.
I appreciate
so I just wanted to add that in there. And I know they
Before
light me up in the comments and stuff too, and that's okay.
I want to add, but I'll wait till the guys go.
Yeah, I actually do like that, Shanae. That does it. I mean, that that perspective is amazing. But one thing I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm not going to even add a but to that. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's just a preference. But also, I would like to say to Mike too, a lot of Black men don't say that about us. They don't. And so it is refreshing to hear a Black man speak about us in that manner, because it's so many that won't. And I agree though. And it's like I'm conflicted, because I agree, whoever's for you is for you, regardless of their packaging. But it does feel good to hear a Black man speak about us Black women in that way and hold us in such high regard. We don't get that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate that.
Thank you. We not. I mean, to me, we're not a packaging. We're not just. It's not a color. We're not color. To me, it's a little deeper for me. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, is whatever make everybody happy is what we got to do. I'm gonna end up with a Black woman. I'm gonna die with one, or I'm gonna die without one. That's just the end of it.
Let me add, and then I'm gonna let Rick also respond as well. So I think freaking hell, what's in my throat, bro? So yeah, in this conversation, I can see I love the fact that we're giving different points of view, because I think, again, this is how we get, like I said, to that place where we're understanding one another. So Shanae, you shared your background in terms of what you've experienced, which is contributing towards the decisions you're making. I think one of the interesting things about conversation is language we use. So sometimes why men can get triggered by women is because something that Shanae, you said, which was really interesting. You said, I used to be like you. And that instantly triggers men, because you just said, literally, you weren't trying to bar him, but when you said that, the language you used was, I used to be like you. So it's like, I've left
you bring in God, like God fixed you because you're a white man, and because I won't, I'm not. It is the language. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it is. That's why I'm just like, The
It's not a
conversation.
beef. It's just that when we're talking language, so this is how the conversation goes left for everybody. Because we're actually saying the same thing, which is that have your preference.
That's it. You got your
That's what
preference.
actually we're saying. So both parties are saying the exact same thing. We're now trying to get to a place of understanding. Because I also felt what you're saying, Sinead, that there are. Listen, when you said that you date outside, I was like, cool. I'm blessed. Like I'm happy you're doing that. But I understand that there are going to be black men that will challenge you and make you feel a certain type of way because you're dating inside the race. I know this kind of guys. I know guys that are around me who do that, right? And we don't want to encourage that at all. We don't want to encourage that at all, because if you want to date outside the race, why should you not? I think the women dating pool is different from the men dating pool indefinitely. I don't think anyone can disagree that. We can argue all day until the cows come. But the truth of the matter is the dating pool for men and the dating pool for women are considerably different. So I understand the need to look outside of the race because of the dating pools are different. What I would say is for us as black men, those who are, you want to quote unquote say pro-black, we love black women because, like I said, Mike said something which is really interesting, is that there's an experience that I can never teach somebody because they've never experienced it. Being black in the UK is probably different from America. But being black in UK, there's an experience that we have that systematic racism, white people they don't go through it. So they don't understand it. So whilst I understand they may love me, I'm praying to God, listen, my G, listen, send me packaged black gal. Understand? Because the stuff that I'm facing, I need that type of woman. Okay, so there's no, it's not that I'm not going to be open to anything God's saying, but I'm also saying, God, this is my preference and my desire, that I desire a black woman due to the fact that the things I'm going through, the things I've experienced, this is a preference. Would I say no to a white woman? No. If that's what God has said, that is it. Who am I to argue? But he also knows the desires of my heart, so I'm gonna stick with that. But I'm gonna let Rick go, and I'm gonna let the ladies respond to that. Rick, you ready to respond, Rick?
Oh, I've just been listening and absorbing and just kind of sauteing it all.
Okay, hit on
There's
the
a, there,
vibration.
there are a lot of layers,
Yes.
and it's hard to cover a subject like this because there are a lot of layers, you know. Um, when I saw Mike, I saw passion, in what he was saying, and that's something deep in him. That's what he feels, and everybody's got their feeling based on their walk of life and their experiences that they feel is the right thing, you know, um, from where they're coming from. So I know, everybody was talking about pushback for this, pushback for that. I was just sitting back listening. I wasn't really pushing back on any of it because that's everybody's truth in each of these boxes I'm looking at. That's your truth. It's your truth. It's your truth. It's your truth. It's yours, and yours. And nobody can take that, and nobody can change that. And the criticisms don't change that. Sometimes it makes you more solidified in whatever it is you believe. Because that negative just pushes you more to your side of what you feel the thing is. So the conversation is a good conversation. And sometimes we have to not listen with our feelings. Sometimes we have to just be quiet and listen because that's why we don't get each other. We're real diverse as people. We're the same people, but we're really diverse as a people. And we're quick to judge, man. And we're quick to criticize, and and I see a lot of us fighting each other. It's more of that than fighting the thing, that's keeping us where we're at. So sometimes, we got to have some compassion for each other and know that our experiences are different, and what we want in life is theoretically the same, but it just varies so much we've experienced so much as a people, and there's so much history behind all the conversations that are happening right now. So when the Mike is coming from some history, there's a history here. We have a history in this country, and some of our feelings come from that history. Some of our feelings come from not knowing our history. It's just, and just having this dialogue is good if everybody's open to it. So I've just been listening and listening to the different paths and the different opinions and just kind of just listening because all of it makes sense. from each person that's saying it. I mean, it makes perfect sense for them, you know. And how you gonna beat that with a stick? You can't. Okay, we might as well say nobody can have what they want in America. We all got to do this, so we all have to do that. You know what I mean? It's the land of the free. This is what we get to do. We get to do what we want to do. You know, as far as like our choices in life and what we feel is our happiness, how we find that. You know, I can't beat anybody on this panel up about what they feel is going to bring them happiness and how they get there. That's a personal choice, you know, and I can't be mad at it. I'm gonna be mad at you. I'm wasting energy. I got to use that energy to go find what I need to make me happy. And what, you know, and Mike, you might be, you know, I know you happy as a brother and all that, but you still want something. I mean, because you out there trying to get and do something, so you have a passion for something, whatever it is you love. That's what everybody really looking for. Just trying to get where they want to be, you know, but without a lot of, you know, we don't want to get too beat up in this process, you know. So I just been sitting back and listening and kind of, you know, trying to just let my mind just be clear and listen to people say what it is that they feel, what they're looking for, how they feel about it. And everybody has a right to have that.
Appreciate it, Rick. Appreciate it. All right, I see Jess wants to respond. Jess, you want to give us your experience?
Hey. Yeah, I just want to say I agree with you, Rick. And I actually love that, you know, whoever, Mike, Kenny,
Jess, your audio is phasing in and out.
Is it? Oh, wait, can you hear me?
We can, but it phases in and out. I think you might need to jump out and jump back in because it was doing it for the last few times. But yeah.
Let me
jump in and jump out. All right. While she's doing that, Mike, talk to them. What you hearing now? Just like let's keep that conversation going because I want to we're getting some understanding now, and I think I love what Rick has brought into the play as well. Talk to us, Mike. What's your thoughts?
Man, everybody do it, make them happy. That's it. Do it, make it. That's it. Because it's like this ain't nothing. This really is not even. As I sit here and think about it, it's like it's not really. I just feel like date who you want without tearing down a black man. You can date whoever the hell you want to date. Don't make it like it's because the black men. No, fuck all that. Just date who you want to date. Don't bring me into it because you keep attracting bad men. You know what I'm saying? Don't bring me into it.
I don't know if she was saying that though.
I'm not saying her. I'm saying in general. This is whenever I hear a lot of times there's certain things being said as if like even what you saying that the pool is no, that's not true. That's not true that the pool is worse.
It's worse. It's different. The pool is different.
This is 2020.
Even biblically, this is proven. There's 7. When the Bible says there's 7 men to 1 woman. Oh, sorry, 7 women to 1 man. So
6,000 years ago,
the pool is different.
This is not 6,000 years ago. Go to Google. This women are people. Women. Now, see, I know in the UK and America is different. The women, black women, are the most educated people in America.
I agree.
It's not the black men. They in prison. In America, the black men in America are at the bottom of the totem pole. I'm telling you right now. I'm in Hollywood. The only black executives in Hollywood, they're women. And then Tyler Perry, you know what he put out there. I'm just telling you.
I'm not trying to get canceled, you know, before my time, bro. I'm still growing, man. Let me grow.
It's just I'm just being honest, brother. It's the truth. Black HBO. I know 3 sisters. Because you know, being in this industry, I'm seeing even more. Black women are very powerful nowadays in America. The black executives from HBO, they're women. The black executive, the highest ranked person at BET, it's a black woman. Connie is a black woman. You see what I'm saying? So this ain't back in the day.
What's that to do with the pool? You see, what you're describing is about opportunity or equity in terms of job, career. We're talking about pool. That means access to. Because what you just described here, you said men are incarcerated, men are this, men are that. You're right, they are. So there's going to be less of a pool of them. See, so that's what we're talking about. So that's where the nuance is. So I agree with you that black women are powerful. I'm not discouraging that, and I'm not saying that there isn't an agenda to get them further along. We're not discussing that, but we're talking about dating and the pool. The pool seems to be smaller for black women when it comes to choosing black men.
Seems to be smaller. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I always hear about Atlanta? all the women do this, all the women are this, all the black. So there's a narrative, as Lola said earlier, that makes people. If someone makes something seem like it's something, we move that way. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. All the stuff you hear about Atlanta, I don't experience that. I don't deal in those circles. I deal in the circles of educated, wealthy black men that love black women. I don't deal with women that's online twerking every 5 seconds. That's not the pool I'm into. I'm not into that world. I don't attract that world. You see what I'm saying? I don't have no complaints about sisters. I got into it with some dudes on a panel online in California because they was talking about, man, black women, this black woman. That's what you attracting, brother.
That's true as well.
I ain't gonna do. You attracting who you are. I don't attract. I don't have that issue. Just because of something don't work out between me and a black woman, I'm not gonna say black woman is. No, just we weren't for each other, and I continue my journey in my black pool. You know what I'm saying? Not because it goes back to everybody just got to do what make them happy. Without trying to don't blame me. Don't blame black men. Do what you do because you want to do it, and vice versa for black. But this goes for black men too. See, I had these conversations with black men in barbershops because I've heard black men, as all the women have said, speaking down on black women. I've heard it, but like I'm talking right now because I think about Angela Collins. I think about my mom. I think about Marjorie Borden. I think about all the black women in my life and black men who got me to where I'm at right now. And I think about the struggles they had to go through in the society, the history of the society as black people. And it's a slap in the face to discredit black women or black men because of the narrative of, of us highlighting the negative black men or negative black women. I just love my people so much. I'm silly and but for that, with my people, I'm very passionate about it. So I don't want anybody to feel like I'm not angry at nobody. I'm very passionate about black people. I just am.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, bro. Come on, man. That's how white people do us.
I love you.
I agree what you're saying. I want to add the nuance to that, bro, because the nuance is that you just said obviously black women are progressively pushing up into different spaces. If they're progressing without black men, then the pool is small. It's like that's the logic. Like if they are progressing high and we're not progressing at the same rate, then the pool is small because there is none of us there. So either way, whether we go to being educated or we're at the bottom level, it seemingly seems that if we're not incarcerated, if we're not gay, if they're not the other whatever quote is that whatever, the pool is smaller for black women choosing black men. I am not saying that is a reason for anybody to push anybody down, but the obvious logic of it is if they are progressing and we're not progressing and we're not progressing as fast as they are, or we're not in the same spaces that they are, then the pool is completely different for them when they're choosing black men. Of course, because the logic is we're not there. You know what I mean? So if their Zex are black and they're black women and they're not black men who are Zex, there is no pool. The pool is little. Do you know what I mean? But Jess had a point, so I'm gonna let Jess go. Then Mike, you can respond to the man after, because I know you on this. Jess was first. So let me Jess was first. Sorry.
Like whenever we have
So I know I
Okay.
missed a
Okay,
bit
cool.
of what you were saying, Mike. So I'm not really responding to you. But prior to that, how we were talking about having Rick was mentioning respecting everybody's choice and what their choice is, how it's defined. And I wanted to just share a small story too. And I'm not sharing this to defend my preference on slightly being open, because I stated what my preference was. But the reason there was a day that was impactful that made me kind of open up my mindset of, oh, wow, this thing is bigger than just skin tone and actually country of origin. So my first boyfriend in college, we met at college, but come to find out we were from the same area home. He was, in my eyes, a black brother. He was just black. But when you start learning someone's culture, for the first holiday, we went home. I mean, I knew this after the second day I met him, but he was half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, one parent. His mother looked at me when I first met her and was like, she's not good enough for you. And so, and the qualification was because I was born by two African-American parents. That was the reason. And here's the thing, this is also not to judge any of them, because we are really good friends to this day. We're super cool. We didn't work out for a number of reasons, but what that day taught me was, and the way that I felt, I was like, oh my God, because it was okay my whole life with some of my family being like, oh, don't bring home a white guy. I'm like, because that's between black and white. That's different. The first, I said, well, dang, you don't even know me yet. Like, how are you saying that I'm, and in my mind, for me, that's what said, Jessica, you can have a preference, but don't knock somebody just because they're not maybe from where you are or have the exact same practices. Because in my mind, I was like, we are black. She was like, no, we not the same. One of us is not the same. And it hurt me. But then I realized she also had a preference for what she wanted her children and grandchildren to be. And that's okay. But it made me realize, like, that was something where it kind of was a shocker. And it's not an answer for anybody on this panel or the world. It was just a moment for me, like, oh, so like black men and be okay with that. But if you're presented with somebody that's a little different, you don't just knock them before you know anything about them. And that's the place that I reside in. That's kind of just where I am.
Okay.
Can you even say something?
Yes. Oh boy. So I really like to discuss things based on facts as much as possible. I appreciate passion. I'm generally a very passionate person, but for the sake of this panel, I'm trying to keep it kosher. But just give me a second. I'm just gonna read something from the census, the last census, right? So there was a survey done in at least 2,000 neighborhoods, and predominantly African American neighborhoods, and they found that between 18 to 64, ages 18 to 64, there was a median of 81 black men for every 100 black women. And the imbalance was greatest in about 380 neighborhoods, where they found that there were less than 2 adult black men for every 3 women under the age of 65. Right? But then under the age of 18, there were more black men to black women. And this was all being blamed on the prison system, industrial complex, right? So after 18, you start getting penalized more, and and I'm not gonna state the obvious. But the reason why I needed to bring this out, bring out the receipts, was just because this whole conversation about seemingly, it seems like, I just wanted to, let's just take that out. It's not seeming, it's fact, right? And I think what we will do, we will do ourselves a disservice on this panel if we listen to rebut and then listen to just understand. We keep saying things like everyone gets to have their own experiences and everyone gets to do whatever. But on the flip side, we then bring in things that have nothing to do with the conversation, like stereotypes, like twerking. What does that have to do with anything, right? It has nothing to do with anything, because it makes it seem like, oh, it's your fault that you are encountering XYZ caliber of people. No, it's just statistics that there are less men than women. I work software, IT, right? I'm Nigerian, and just to step into a stereotype, Nigerians are one of the most educated demographics in America, right? And if anyone has met, I don't think you've ever met a Nigerian who has anything less than a bachelor's degree, right? So if you're talking about moving in circles where they're high achievers, I can stand proudly and say, yes, Nigerians are definitely it. We're great at scamming and we're great at other stuff, I'm being silly. Ignore me. But my point is, it's that stereotype of whatever you're just painting about change your circles wouldn't apply to someone like me, right? It wouldn't apply to someone who is moving in those circles already, where you have high achievers. The higher up you achieve in American society, the wider it gets. That's a fact. I work in a company of over 5,000 people. I am the only black woman. The only. I'm not one of 2. I'm the only black woman, and I'm the only black person in leadership, period. So what would I looking at myself and then just saying, oh, I'm looking for a black man to my caliber. Where I work right now, leading life sciences firm, I've been there for 5 years. I've not seen a black man on my level or above walk in those doors, right? So as much as I want to be kosher with this conversation and be calm about and cool about it, I think where I get passionate is when you're being gaslighted about experiences and facts and things that you actually encounter in the real world.
Okay.
Right? I love, Mike, that you love Black women. Like, honestly, what is so special about you right now is what I take for granted coming from Nigeria. Like, if I listen to our music in Nigeria, they talk love songs about other Black women that has nothing to do with their physical features. I take that for granted, right? The women in any community get their value, they get their esteem from how the men view them. Take a look at white men and white women. White women can murder, but white men will always stand behind them. And that's why white women are on this pedestal that they are. That's why they vote Trump every single time, despite the fact that they say patriarchy is the B word, right? So in our communities, Black women find our esteem, our value, our extra buffer. Aside from ourselves, aside from what we give ourselves, we find that extra oomph in our steps by how our men value us. So I don't want you to take anything I'm saying as negating what you're saying. It is amazing because we need that. And it's also amazing because you need that, right? But what I'm saying is the facts are the facts. The numbers don't lie. The pool is not based on perception. It is based on numbers and facts. If you, as an individual, not thinking politically, if you as an individual want to be married, want to have a family with people who have similar values, you will be doing yourself a disservice by staying close. If you want to, it is a choice. It is a choice, but the numbers don't lie.
So
did you get that, Mike?
We have to ensure, because you understood where you coming from. You said in there, what does twerking have to do with it? So you didn't hear what I was saying.
Okay.
What I was saying was numbers. Let's speak of numbers. I'm talking about what I hear online. Okay, talking about the quality of Black women, of what we see and was promoted, right? About twerking and y'all on social media, right? Nobody know what I'm talking about?
You on social media, yeah.
I'm saying, but do y'all know what I'm talking about as far as what's promoted with our Black women mainly?
You mean the over-sexualization, the hyper-sexualization of Black women?
Yes.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's facts.
Fuck these niggas, get their money. We gonna ignore it. We gonna act like that's not what we see a lot of promoted. What I'm saying is quality, not just the numbers but the quality. Like you said before, there's a lot of Black men out here that don't date women.
Mm-hmm.
So those Black men fall in that category, but they're also in the numbers of those women fall in the categories of women who, are promoted that they don't value Black men. Is about get the money, fuck these. The new mentality
city girls you're talking about,
right?
Which obviously comes from city girls. They're not born by themselves. They are born out of a generation of hip hop that has misogynized, sexualized. We started it like that one. I can take for free.
I'm talking about what's happening. I'm talking about what's happening right now.
Which is so if you do that, but you have to give both sides. So I agree with you. I'm just saying that give the nuance, because what happens is when we go down that road, when we talk about city girls saying they're doing up twerking, we forget that they are born out of a generation that's even now that talks about your Tupacs, your Biggies and Smalls and all them kind of people that we love and we celebrate. They also glorify this behavior. So if we're saying about quality, we're talking from both sides. We can't talk from one side because both sides have appalling quality.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I agree with you. What I'm saying is both. So we have to see both sides.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So I agree. I'm not going to disagree with you saying about how it started. I'm not going to disagree with that. I can't. But what I'm saying is now we talk about the numbers and the pools and the pools. But okay, what's the percentage of what I see or what I'm always I'm gonna say was projected to me from our sisters, right? But I don't let that alter the reality of the pool of our sisters.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying? And I don't think our sisters should let that alter the reality of our great Black men we have in this country, in this world. Excuse me. So that's what I'm saying. Date at the end of the day, date who you want to date, be with who gonna make you happy. My stance is my stance, and everybody else's stance is their stance. I'm not dating nobody outside of a Black woman. Period. I don't care. That's what God told me. God told me to stay my, since we don't say God told everybody something different. That's what God told me to do. All right, is love my black queens, and that's it.
I hear that. Shanae, you've opened your mic. What did you want to say?
Oh, I didn't even mean to. Sorry.
Girl, you're already here, so you better start talking.
The conversation is really kind of deviated to a completely different place now, so I don't really have.
Okay. Well,
I don't have
let me
anything to add.
go on,
Can I
Leonard, go
say
on, Leonard.
something? So I'm listening to both sides, and I don't see how they both can't be true. Like the two different realities and how they're perceived, how they're coming into the world and seeing the world. I can see how they can go side by side. See that, but once again, it makes me happy to hear Mike repeat himself over and over again, because sometimes it's just good to hear that. So if I'm taking only that alone from this conversation, if other people in the chat taking that, will run with it, because that is lovely to hear. We don't hear it all the time, particularly from people who may not know. I might hear my parents say that or good friends say that, but I won't hear someone I don't know say that. So once again, I think if that's the only thing I'm getting, Mike, I appreciate your passion for saying you love Black women, because we don't hear it every day. Talk less of every other day. So it's beautiful and it's wonderful to hear.
Love that. So let me close it out on that. So I think the conversation, it was needed, because I think I've seen this conversation play out a few times online, and it quickly just like goes into madness, right? Because like Rick was saying earlier as well, both parties actually don't hear each other out, because all of us have our own pre-existing thoughts. We have our own arguments that we have, because we've encountered people who have not been able to listen to us, but have listened to rebut. And so this conversation for me was very important to get two different sides of things, because there are inevitably two truths. There is the woman's side that they are seeing from their angle, and there is also the men who are seeing it from their angle. And both can, I think Lo has put it quickly, both can coexist. What I wanted to push, that both our parties have to do better, not on this particular panel, but in general as our race, to help one another to actually have loving conversation where we're understanding, having empathy, understanding where each other's coming from, to actually have I would say a valuable type of conversation. Because what I've learned from the ladies here is also at the same time is that the experiences of what they're encountering is different to mine. Like, because I understand that when I'm going into work, I will see 2 or 3 sisters, and those 2 or 3 sisters are white. Some of them are the only Black people in general in their own workplace. That's a different experience to mine, and that opens my mindset and opens up my mind to the different thoughts and the different experiences that people are going through. So I just wanted us to make sure that we're thinking on that lineage, which is that everybody has their own experience, but within that, we can talk and we may disagree a little bit, but it's still love at the end of the day. Do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still love at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So there's a last topic we got. It's got last 5 minutes. Let's dash it out, make it nice and light, because y'all, we took it somewhere deep, and I don't want to lose people up in here. So something light. In fact, I won't even do a topic. I want to ask a question to the panelists. You guys know I like to do my human verifications. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to end the show like this. So I'm going to do my little human verifications. Okay. So I got a question for certain people up in here. You know what I'm saying? You've come on here to live before. You tilt your head back. Okay. Because you need to know. So the human verification question today. Okay. I think I've asked this before, but I'm gonna ask it again, because I need to get some serious questions. I need to see method. I need to see what you're gonna add to it. So I'm gonna ask Ashley first, because she's the first on my screen. Ash, let me unmute you. You can unmute yourself, girl. Go on, you can unmute yourself quick. You know what I'm saying? It's a quick 1 minute thing. Yeah, go. No, yo.
Did I do it? My earring was ringing. My earring was moving. I'm like, shoot.
Nah. Oh man, I think I've asked this question before. You might have answered it, but I need a method now, because I'm gonna ask everybody. I need to see their method. You know what I mean? I'm trying to steal some things for the recipe book. But sis, when you get the chicken, I need to know your method. I need to know what you're seasoning it with. Yeah. If I hear lemon and herb again, or lemon and ginger, whatever you lot were saying last time, yeah, It's a quick, swift cancel in 2021. You understand? So talk to us, sis. Okay, talk to us. The chicken, how is it getting seasoned? Break it down for me.
Okay, chicken getting seasoned. So I'm from New
Okay.
Orleans. You know, we season it with everything. Okay. So number one, we starting off with a
Okay.
little Tony Sashery in that thing.
Yeah.
Seasoning. You ready? You need me to pull it out because I can get it. We get a little garlic seasoning, a little garlic powder, onion powder. We do a little pepper, a little cayenne pepper, get a little spice in that thing. And it depends, because you might put a little parsley if you're baking it, or if you know, if you're frying it, you might not need to do all of that. You know, might throw a little accent in there, you know, gotta mix it all up. And then
What's that love? Secret weapon? What's that? What's that? Ah, damn. Okay.
To kill you.
Just sprinkle
just a little
okay.
bit.
Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate that. In my recipe book now. Lola,
what up, sir?
Talk to me, Lola. I need to know, like, what you saying, like, what's this chicken thing? Yeah, I need to know how you're seasoning this thing. I need method. You understand? I need it to be so I can prep this properly. You understand? Talk to me. What is it saying?
Sir, I do all kinds of chicken. What kind of chicken are we talking about? We're talking about jerk chicken, just like regular seasoned chicken, broiled, baked, like how you want it stewed. Okay, we can go like top of the list for me is like but everything I use is pepper. So you know the basic salt, pepper, garlic seasoning, the Knorr chicken cube seasoning. Of course, you've got the pepper that I rub in, onions, bell peppers, and then you just kind of mix them together, let them marinate. But then, like I said, they're different recipes. No, I don't usually use lemon juice at all.
You don't use turmeric either?
Nah, the curry is in there, so the curry's good. You know, remember?
Make sure.
Yeah, no, not turmeric. Yeah, turmeric curry. It's really curry, so it's curry and they're the seasonings, but it's always pepper.
Lovely
always
stuff.
Pepper.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Rick. Talk to me, Rick. Are you there, Rick?
Due to the pending patent, I cannot reveal the. No, actually, I don't. Yeah, I'm not cooking that. I'm just listening. I'm writing down things like you are right now.
Okay, cool. So you're like me, bro. We need help. All right, cool. No,
Rick ain't gotta cook. Rick just gotta talk while we cook.
Okay.
Someone's having a barbecue later then.
Okay. I already heard the recipe.
I appreciate it, Rick. I appreciate it. Ken, you're next to my list, man. You're next to my list. Talk to me, Ken. Unblock yourself, man. Talk to me. What are you saying about this, the seasoning and that? Talk to me.
So I'm with Lola. Like, what kind of chicken are we making? But if we're to give basic, like she said, salt, pepper. You need some Maggi or Knorr. You need that bouillon cube in there. Definitely peppers. Definitely some, actual fresh herbs that you're putting in there. Some herbs de Provence.
What's that? Fresh herb? What's that?
It's like thyme, lavender, like a whole
lavender's going in there. I didn't even know lavender was an herb. I thought lavender was for your clothes.
It's all mixed in, yeah, it's all mixed in there, You have your house smelling amazing, like you're doing something. It's kind of like frying onions, but you're not really making anything.
Okay. Mike, you're next on my list. Jess and Sinead, I see you. Don't worry. Mike, you're next on my list. Talk to me, Mike. How are we seasoning this chicken, sir? Talk to me.
All right, now it's poultry, so you got to throw that sage.
Okay, sage. Okay.
But little sage. I ain't talking about the sage. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the little brown sage. Okay. Hit a little sage on it. Now this is real detrimental. Now I'm gonna give y'all to write this down. Dill weed. Put some dill weed on there.
Thing that I just saw on Marisha the other day. Like that was what she. No, I don't know. Okay, yeah.
It's expensive. Get a little dill weed. Then you're gonna come with the garlic salt. Don't put the regular white salt there. Get the garlic salt. That way you kill two birds with one stone, right? Now that's the only salt we're gonna come with a little onion powder.
Oh my God. Okay.
Not onion salt, onion powder.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm gonna tell this is a ratchet way to do it, but it's the best way to do it. You gotta put it in the sink.
And what's your favorite liquid?
If you don't put that chicken in the sink and season in the sink and move it around there, get all them good germs in there, it ain't gonna be right. Like think about when you go to a restaurant, it's too clean. You be like, oh, this shit, it ain't gonna be seasoned right. You got to put it in the sink and swish it around real good. I'm trying to tell y'all laughing. My cousin was like,
talking about that good bacteria.
Come on, Rick. Tell them they think it's a game. Put that chicken in the sink, ladies. Tonight, everybody in here, listen to me. Clean the sink out good. Put the chicken in the sink first. Then hit it with the sage, brown it up a little bit. Come with the garlic salt, boom. a little dill weed, onion powder, and then take your hands and mush it around real good in the sink, swirl it around. You're gonna season the chicken. Then you got the flour on the side. You season the chicken. Then you throw it in the flour. You don't need no egg. You don't need no egg. That throw the salt, because that's nasty. When you cooking a grown up in the child batter, that ain't right.
That sounds like biblical Exodus or something like that. Yeah, go on.
Amen, brothers. You don't need that.
Okay.
And then make sure that the grease is hot.
Okay.
Okay, not too hot, just nice bubbling hot. Boom. Take a little water and you throw it at the grease, and we go. And ready for the chicken. And that's it.
Mike, I appreciate your honesty.
Hey, y'all didn't hear Mike. Say it again.
Mike ain't coming to no cookout.
I don't know if I'm going to try. I'm not coming over to his place for chicken. I'll bring my chicken with me.
Y'all sleeping.
Mike is banned.
I'll bring the chicken. You can have the drinks. I'll bring the chicken.
Y'all gotta please trust me. Just try it one time.
Yo, folks are going crazy in the comments based on these ingredients. Let's be clear, there's different kinds of chicken. Mike's chicken is fried. My chicken is baked in an oven. Okay.
No,
I'm not trusting Mike.
Is bacteria that's out in the sink. First of all,
it's in the sink.
We ain't doing it. No, they used to do that. I ain't lying. And like my people, they did. Like seriously, the older they did, and they swirled it around in that thing. But now that we know better, Mike.
No.
We do
Mike, because you're gonna cook the bacteria. Let me tell you something crazy.
Oh my God, don't do it.
I'm about to mess everybody mind with this. I grew up, my mama made me, God rest her soul, mama. She used to make us clean the chicken. We had to scrape up. You ain't got to clean no chicken.
Yes, you do.
With fairy liquid.
Grease gonna fry all that mess out of it.
No, you clean the chicken.
Make sure you get that fairy liquid on there, innit?
The grease gonna fry all the bacteria, all the what's it called? What's it called? What's it called?
What's the
Salmonella, all that gonna get fried out under nice temperature.
Mike, food poisoning. Mike,
yo, I'm actually listen. I am not going around Mike's. That is it.
No, we'll bring the food. He can order the drinks.
Around Mike's. I'm so sorry,
order
Mike.
the drinks. That's it.
I'm
Mike.
not going around yours.
Nah.
Don't call me Mike.
Or
Mike's
better
on
yet,
mute.
he'll get a caterer. He needs to get a caterer. That's it.
Better know.
Let me get one of these ladies up in here.
You're going to get sick.
Let me get one of these ladies. Yeah. Let me get Jess up here. Jess, talk to us, man. What are you saying? Like, how we doing this chicken, right? Please don't tell me put it in the sink and getting all the bacteria. I mean, talk to us, sis. How we doing it?
Mike done brought the soup.
He's done out here. Go on, Jess.
Okay. Because I think I'm hearing you guys are kind of breaking up, and I'm sure it's my connection. But what is it? How we make chicken? Is this what this is?
Yeah, how we seasoning that chicken, sis? Gotta make sure. I know it makes you human.
Wait, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all are like really breaking up. Okay, so it's how you season it. Is that what you just said? Okay. So basically, can you guys hear me? Am I sounding choppy? Okay. So how I season chicken, it's a whole entire process. So I need bone in. I cannot eat. I do not like I need bones in everything because the flavor is in there. So I put it in a big one of those kind of like silver bowls, and I will season it, pat it very dry after I clean it. It does need garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, a little bit of curry, some if I have some rosemary like finely chopped up, and then that's the dry ingredients in there. Sometimes I will add in a little bit of like lemon pepper or some of my the seasoned salt that I use, but I don't like tons of too salty. So then in the wet bowl, I'm gonna have a little bit of teriyaki sauce, a little soy sauce, a little bit of the Chinese chili paste, and mix that all in there. And then what I do is after I put the seasoning on the chicken, I drizzle it with olive oil so it gets a little bit oily. And what I'll do is pour the wet over it. And that marinates between 4 to 24 hours, depending on what's going on with my day. And so then from there, I take it out and in a cast iron, because this is key. I need a little bit of oil in a cast iron because I'm not frying this chicken, but I'm pan roasting. So I go ahead and sear it on both sides till it's really, really crispy. And then I leave it in there and possibly whatever vegetables I want that day, or I lay a bed of potatoes underneath it. So I've seared it, taken it off, put it in a plate. And then I go in with like, let's say I'm layering potatoes or putting some vegetables, put the chicken back into the big pot, the cast iron. And then I put it in the oven because then you're going to have that crisp, but the bacon of the chicken, but all those flavors together are going to still make it like when you bite into it, it's like juicy. So I like like to cook, and I just had to. I mean, I go in when I'm making
Sis,
chicken.
can I come
like that.
over?
So
You're
that's just
coming over
one
to
way.
Jess's.
So
Yeah.
that's
Come
just,
over,
that's
Jess.
just one way.
Bringing Mike over as well.
What kind
Mike,
of work
you
you tell us about
Yeah.
that?
okay? Don't bring any chicken.
What city
Bring
you
any.
live in, Jess?
We're gonna
I
take
can't
up
be
all
giving
of
all
it,
them
Jess.
details out. I can't be.
Jess, what city you live in? What city you
I
live in,
can't.
Jess? You in Atlanta?
I can't give them.
No, she's in
details out.
Cali. She's in California.
You in California?
That wet ingredients, dry ingredients, drizzling, pan roasting, flipping and flipping.
No, it's a serious matter. Like I cook. Like
Now
I,
you
I
cook.
Jess
You
said
sound like you
it's
cook.
layers to
I
this.
see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
recreation.
I
I'm
cook,
like,
cook.
No.
what goes the well? You cook.
Yeah, I
cook.
cook.
No,
Like,
she
you
cook.
hot.
So just you know what you got to do next city. You start a YouTube and then we'll back it.
It's
Yeah,
layers.
appreciate you.
That's you
I'm so
win.
sorry,
Come on,
Sinead.
best friend. Let's do
I'm
this.
so
best
sorry,
friend.
Sinead. I feel bad because I should have let Jess go last. That she's unless you,
Right,
you better
right,
do a
right.
longer
No,
list. You
I'm
know what I mean?
good.
I've got my
good.
whole page for you.
I'm
My whole
good.
page for you. I'm ready.
I-
Okay, Sinead,
Yes,
hit
sir.
us with which stage. What are we
So,
saying?
so let me tell y'all what y'all all mentioned some great seasonings, but I'm just gonna add just my staples that I use
Oh
every
my
single
God.
time. So you gotta have a seasonal.
Okay,
You gotta have
Okay.
that. Okay. And then I'm absolutely not doing nothing without garlic powder.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is about garlic powder, but it's just like it you need this on everything.
Oh,
And
give
then
me the
because
props.
I like a little spicy spice, I like my garlic and onion. I don't know if y'all can see that. Garlic and onion.
Oh, damn. Show and
Yeah.
tell.
It's got the mix in there. And then the most important thing out of it all, you got to make sure you include that rosemary.
Go ahead, sis.
Yep.
You gotta have
Yep.
that rosemary, baby,
Yes,
because
you
that
do.
flavor.
What does that do?
If y'all were
Rose-
here right now, rosemary has a way of taking your chicken's flavor to heaven.
Listen.
It touches and
Really?
it wipes
Yeah.
Jesus'
Yes,
feet
yes,
with its
yes.
Y'all
hair.
better check the
It
facts.
just-
Go
it
on
just-
my
it just
IG. Y'all
wipes-
better
it
go
just
check the
wipes
facts.
Jesus' hair with his with the
Yes.
leaves, and then it comes back down to earth
Yes,
and
it
it
does.
seasons and bakes it into whatever you're cooking. So
Yes.
these, ladies and gentlemen, are from on high. Get y'all some rosemary, and you can thank me later.
She's not lying.
No, I
Not-
use it for my roast potatoes. I use rosemary for roast potatoes most of the
Yes.
time.
Use use it for chicken next time and see what
Chicken
happens.
and rosemary is a complete love story. Like it's
It
just,
It
it
is.
really is just.
I know
It is.
Publix makes a version of that
Ladies,
too.
It's
Ladies,
so good.
I don't
y'all.
want you to. I don't want to waste you lot's recipes. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a whole live for you ladies to
Oh,
come and show us how you do it proper. You know, LBB is all about relationships, but I'm also about as well eating good food. You know what I mean? I can't
Yeah.
eat it for where I am, but I'm gonna be in spirit. So as you cooking and marinating and doing all your stuff, I'm gonna just be in spirit, tasting the food. So what we're gonna do one day, we'll do a live, get y'all to just season some chicken. some
That's
food, you know
funny.
what I'm saying? And we'll have a talk around that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all don't even want to get that food thing started. Because you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and prophesy now. When we do the food live,
Oh Lord.
some of us, let me
Oh,
just drop this
Lord.
on y'all ladies. Some of y'all ain't gonna be single for too much longer. Catch. Catch.
Yeah, if it was that easy, man. Oh, goodness.
Boom.
Damn.
You're not gonna be single too much longer, boo.
I hear this. I can't. If I have you lot around, I'm gonna be single.
Swiftly.
Hey.
You're gonna have
Quality
you're gonna have
time,
to have Mike- you're gonna have one come on with the back period chicken first, you know, just to get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's sync ministry. I don't want it.
Ooh, brother
Take it,
Mike,
Ash.
can we all just point our hands towards Mike right now? Father, in the
But
name
he
of
done
Jesus.
left.
For he doesn't he knows not what he do. And we just want to lift him up before you now. Now he know he not supposed to do the chicken like that. Who told him that?
He said he's getting a caterer. We spoke.
They out there steering that baby wrong. Don't do that, Mike. Okay?
He's getting a
Don't do
caterer.
that.
Ladies,
Don't do
it's
that
getting
no
late,
more.
so
Yeah.
I want to bring it to a close for you guys. You know what? We had some fun, and I appreciate the fact that we had a deep conversation. We never killed each other, and we also had fun as well. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate that. This is what it's all about. The big conversations about this. So obviously, we'll have to arrange a live. I promise you, we'll do one where we're doing it around food and have a conversation. We will do one. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a big foodie, and it sounds like all the ladies are too. But I want to thank you, Ash. I know Mike's not here. I'll thank him when he's privately as well. Lola, thank you so much. Rick, appreciate you. It's good to have men on this channel as well. Shanae, thank you so much for giving us a different perspective. Jess, you too. Kenny, Shanae, and Jess and Lola. Actually, you lot came with just guns, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you came with guns, and we appreciate that because it gives us a different perspective, and we learn from that.
That's
right?
what we're here for.
So, guys, stay locked, stay loaded. If you've enjoyed this, guys, stay tuned. We'll have a big conversation soon. I don't know when, but we'll bring the news to you guys. All right, appreciate it, guys. Stay locked.